процентов туда хотящих вступить. И вы спросите, а какой идиот будет таким унижением заниматься? Будут. Вступить в братство означает приобрести ценнейшие связи на всю жизнь. В братствах дети американских элит будут...
Ну это как, по сути...
That's quite big. Impressive.
Это как, по сути... Бля, я думал, в наше время уже никто не будет замерять размер черепа. Это как, по сути, такая подготовка к масонству. Ну, по факту это так и есть. То есть ты реально обмазываешься говном, или там тебя делают чьим-то лунопопиком, но...
Вот пирог, осталось мать найти.
Принцип, мне кажется, он идет.
Их, так сказать, пацанов. И на такое шли, да. Здесь
Это
чувак
дефолт.
жалуется, что братство вообще себе всех женщин UCLA забрали. Притом, вступая туда, ты вступаешь не на первые роля, ты становишься прислугой. Там дедовщина страшная. Ты попуск, но ты попуск среди лучших. Вот такая тут уютная атмосфера. Конечно же, очень чисто, очень безопасно, нигде никаких решеток.
Бля,
Супер ухоженно. И куча студентов, они везде. И очень шумно. Музыка везде играет, люди шумят. Короче, рассказываю, что произошло. Мы с ним гуляли по кампусу UCLA.
Я не знаю, что мы здесь делаем на самом деле, но
Это
он.
нас профессор UCLA притащил, а тут тупо американский пирог. Я все хожу по этой хате, пытаюсь мать Стифлера найти.
Вот пирог.
Вот пирог, осталось мать найти.
Пошли искать.
Да, давайте. Вообще.
По-моему, это выглядит как обычная, блядь. Просто люди сидят, блядь. Вы заметили, что это необычно, блядь?
Притащил.
Сидят люди, блядь. Едят. Как обычная вписка. Да даже и впиской не назвать, блядь.
А тут тупо американский
Сколько
пирог.
восторга
Я все
просто от
хожу
того, что
по
люди
этой
сидят и
хате,
едят.
пытаюсь мать Стифлера найти.
Ладно бы тут была реально... Вот если бы он зашел, и тут действительно была невероятная какая-то алкогольная, безумная вечеринка, где женщины какали бы на мужчин там, блядь, или еще что-нибудь, я бы понял от его ахуй. Ну тут, блядь...
Вот пирог, осталось мать найти. Позвали на такую
невероятно.
студенческую пати с красными стаканчиками.
Там революция.
Все, позвони мне, давай устроим пати, я каких-нибудь шлюх вызову, блядь, привезем стафа всякого, блядь, объебемся, вот. Веселее будет 100 раз, я даже могу покакать, если ты захочешь, на тебя или куда-нибудь нахуй на пол, блядь.
Это случилось
Что-то
математически.
ты так удивлен
Там
просто
индус
тем,
в голове
что
за 5
люди
часов
сидят.
разоблачен
Что я
какой-то,
хочу тебе
доказали,
показать
что
реальное веселье, чтобы
И Никита это
карлики были,
подтвердил.
блядь.
Они
Карликов
обменялись имейлами,
позовем.
А Никита
С
сам по
подносами
себе, он
на
тоже
голове.
какую-то гипотезу опроверг.
которая 40 лет держалась.
Долго объяснять, но помимо гулек в UCLA еще и научный движ очень развитый. Что тут происходит?
Завязки. Я готов развязать ради такого, блин, это несложно.
Фанат детки. 400 хватит смотреть его Харли. Включай.
Кто-то там спорит о математике, я достаточно выпил,
Так
чтобы...
он же удалил его, он же уже прорекламировал, сказал, что ошибся.
В это
Ну,
вписаться.
многие. А как вообще можно знать заранее? Там же не написано, что это такое. Вот и все ошиблись. Все ошиблись.
Это общаги, пацаны, посмотрите. Вот это, конечно, красотень. С Олегом мы там гуляли полдня, и, честно, я взгрустнул от того, что мое студенчество не было таким. Я учился
согласен,
в затхлой
это обидно,
одесской
блядь.
шараге, где и образования нормального не давали, и тусовок крутых не было.
Вообще
Хотелось
говно.
бы мне ощутить вот это.
Хотя, мне кажется, блядь, в Одессе были крутые тусовки. Тебя, скорее всего, туда не звали просто. Мне показалось, когда я был в Одессе, что это довольно вайбовый город. В принципе, там можно найти тусовку какую-то. Я вот когда тусовался, там мы, в принципе, неплохо подкисали с ребятами. Просто, ну, как будто... Да, блядь, в студенчестве, блин, я был студентом, ну, типа, в Москве тоже, в отстойном вузе, но, тем не менее, какие-то пьянки были, гулянки были, даже девки были. Я даже трипером каким-то запалил, помню.
Лимонные пуке. 400 он реально ходит и восхищается по универу, где ларпят под университеты Европы. И с лицом плачущего сайджета говорят, мне тоже часть белой цивилизации. И при этом он сам из города, где осталась историческая застройка Росса.
Блин, мне, ну я не знаю, может сколько угодно, типа, смеяться над этим всем, но я вот честно признаюсь, я бы хотел вырасти в Америке и
поросятам крутить.
поучиться там. Это наверняка прикольно. Хотя я тупой, скорее всего, я, блядь, после школы пошел бы сразу в пломберы какие-нибудь или еще какой-то хуйней заниматься. Тут же надо понимать, что надо же еще умным быть, чтобы и родители должны пиздец какие богатые быть. Иначе ты никуда не поступишь и будешь, блядь, сразу, не знаю, там в Макдональдсе работать. Поэтому по факту рождение в этом месте тебе еще ничего не гарантирует. Особенно если твои родаки не богаты.
Студенческую жизнь, а не
В армию бы пошел.
вуз, это
Кстати, армия — это нормальная тема. Я, может, и так бы пошел в армию, но меня уже не берут, я говорю. Мне даже листовку дали, спросили, сколько лет. Я говорю, вот, блядь, столько-то. Мне сказали, ну тогда только в береговую охрану. Нашли какую-то самую засрутую листовку, но я уже рассказывал. Но я в береговую охрану не
не только
хочу.
место, где ты получаешь образование, это место, где ты строишь связи на всю жизнь. Поэтому нельзя экономить на университете, потому что ты экономишь на обществе. Масса крутых американских стартапов рождается сегодня, в свободное от учебы время, в этих парках, в этих кафешках. Ну а в домах, брат, за годы учебы как минимум собирается компромат на будущих президентов. Думаю, вы слышали, что Илон Макис открыл свою бургерную в LA. Мы решили туда заехать, но поскольку мы опущенцы на BMW, там парковаться нельзя. Это бургерная для владельцев Тесла. Что могу сказать? Илон визионер, и если он что-то создает, он это реально переосмысляет. Бургерная стилистически эдакий ретро-футуризм. На парковке стоит огромный кинотеатр, где крутятся фильмы.
Бля, эти водилы Теслы, блядь, это нюхатели собственного пердежа. Я вообще это не понимаю. Я ездил на этой Тесле, это натуральный электросамокат, блядь, обитый самым дешевым пластиком каким-то. Ну, короче, блин, я вообще не понял прикола, честно. Да, Перечному, мне кажется, сейчас есть чем заняться, чем делать подкаст со своим злейшим. Ну, я думаю, что я не его злейший враг, но очевидно, что он меня не любит, иначе бы он не своровал у меня кошелек.
Мы 70-х,
У него жена
80-х.
беременна.
Илон Маск пошел уже на крайние меры. Вы платите сейчас даунпеймент 3000 евро, ой, 3000 долларов. Платите $300 в месяц, и вы получаете новую Теслу. Это Model 3, если что. То есть $300 в месяц ты платишь за Model 3. Это очень выгодно. Кстати, роботы здесь не обслуживают. Это пока что оказалось главным скамом. Да, вон отсылки. Разбитое стекло от Кибертрака, который был на презентации. Молот, которым дверь мяли. Прикольно. С отсылочкой, с душой подошли. Итак, что здесь есть? Тесла бургер. Сразу берем. Бейкон. Рам не берем. $13,5. Нифига себе. Давайте классику без изменений. $13 хот-дог. Это, по-моему, даже для LA дорого.
Это пиздец, блядь.
Чикен сэндвич тоже.
Я бы, когда эти кнопки жал, я бы чувствовал себя полным гоем, мне кажется, блядь. В том же и на Науте, бля, мне кажется, бургер, когда я еще там был, там что-то около $5 стоил, я не помню. Ну, блядь, дешево, короче. Это просто пиздец, это, блядь...
$12.
Из всех сетевых бургерных здесь самые большие цены в городе. Слушайте, ну по ощущению фастфуд, вот как должен быть фастфуд.
Ну, там дешево.
Вот,
относительно.
прикольно. Ждали мы очень долго, я думаю, минут 30, наверное. Нам приносят такие коробочки с маленькими кибертраками. Блин, какие они милые, это пипец. $16. В In-N-Out стоит дабл-дабл, это самый максимальный $6. То есть он на $10 дороже, чем в In-N-Out. И котлета здесь прям, знаете, когда фарш прям придавливает, он прям тонкий.
Да, это смэш-бургер. Я, кстати, именно смэш-бургеры люблю больше, чем... Вот если я беру бургер, то только смэш. Но последний хороший смэш-бургер я съел, наверное, в Нью-Йорке. Там вот пиздатые готовят, я прям нашел. Кайфовые. Подгорело. Да не, они такие должны быть.
МЦ Доналд 600 че за история с кошельком.
Блять, ну ты прикалываешься, что ли? Может мне еще рассказать, как я, ёпта, блять, месть боксера нахуй снял? Успокойся, братан.
Карамелизированный лук, сыр. Ну, вот такой... Слушай, на самом деле, как шейк-шак.
Не, похоже по виду. Да, блять, они специально делают смэш-бургеры, чтобы еще сильнее Гоя наебать. Потому что смэш-бургеры, они обычно, ну, недорогие, короче. Или вообще идут в каком-то наборе слайдеров, блять. А тут захуячили, короче, по минимуму мяса.
Да. И, короче, есть сеть шейк-шак.
Расскажи про Анну Зарыковский. Ну, он такой был там. Он так делал. Про это могу рассказать, это недолгая
Бургер.
история.
Дома она нью-йоркская. Она есть по всему миру. Ну, много где в мире. Смотрите, это определенно вкусно.
Сразу, мне кажется, видно, что откуда с СНГ чуваки, может, он их поэтому и подснял.
Она есть по всему миру. Ну, много где в мире. Смотрите, это
Нашего мужика всегда по отсутствию подбородку можно определить в любом месте.
определенно вкусно, но это абсолютно оверпрайс. Илон Маск, ты что? Ты славился тем, что ты дешево все делаешь. Это не дешево, брат. Не, упаковка прикольная. В заведении 100% будет много людей, потому что, как минимум...
Там, бля, вечером, ну, когда это все открылось, не протолкнуться было, а сейчас там вообще никого нахуй нет. Это так же, как и с Теслами, блядь, когда он их выпускал, там такой хайп был. Потом люди поняли, что все эти, блядь, зарядки... Ну, в Калифорнии это актуально, там реально много Тесл, но не потому, что это пиздатая машина, а потому что там бензин, блядь, $7 стоит, и... Ну, типа, тебе просто выгоднее, нахуй, заряжать со всеми там этими бонусами, льготами и прочим говном, которые электромобиль. Хотя, блядь, в Америке, по-моему, электромобиль даже дороже на учет ставится. Не уверен на 100%.
У него есть utility. Там снизу куча зарядок Теслы. И Тесловоды могут зайти без очереди. Мы стояли в очереди. Небольшой, но стояли. Тесловоды...
Чё-то, блин, тоже в Калифорнию захотелось. Недель. Может сгонять. Го. Но я сейчас в Западную Вирджинию еду, в Апалачи, хочу в горы сходить. Какого там, не помню. 3-го, что ли? Я планировал. 4-го поехать. Дней на 5. Побуду в горах, потом вернусь. Надо будет постримить, немного денег отбить. Там Бигфуты ходит. Ну, мне интересно,
Ходит
посмотри,
правда.
Апалачи. Это
Жил бы ли я в
великие горы.
Лос-Анджелесе? Не совсем. На севере от него, в 15 минутах езды от центра Л.А., есть город Пасадена. Город прямо у подножья Лос-Анджелесовских гор.
Город, напоминаю, 200 с чем-то тысяч населения.
Там чем дальше едешь,
такой
там тем
огромный
лучше и лучше.
стол.
Анахайм уже
Между
лучше
прочим, в Пасадене
Пасадены.
находится Калифорнийский технологический
Какой-нибудь
университет.
Ирвайн лучше
Если что,
Анахайма, а
это
если
10-й
еще ниже
университет
ехать,
в
то
мире
там Сан-Диего
считается.
вообще.
В этом универе
Вот
целых 3
Сан-Диего,
года
блядь, это
преподавал
моя
сам
прям любовь.
Альберт
Вот был бы у
Эйнштейн.
меня бесконечное
В 31
количество
году
денег, я бы
Альберт
в Сан-Диего
написал:
переехал.
здесь, в Пасадена, я как в раю. И он прав. Это райский городок, где есть и историческая застройка, что огромная редкость
КЗ,
для
я был в этой
Лос-Анджелеса.
Пасадене, мне она вообще не зашла, она очень какая-то такая, вот, знаете, как будто ты в Мексике, нахуй, вот серьезно. Ну, тут только в ее формате, как если бы Мексика была Америкой, там вот прям все какое-то, все отдает вот этой латиноамериканщины, испанщины, как вот, знаете, как вот испаноговорящие техасские какие-то города показывали в вестернах, что-то такое. Там вот прям вайб такой. ТЗ. Мне он не особо заходит. Ну, это кому как.
Парки, пешеходные улицы, близко природа. Контингент,
Красный.
проживающий здесь, прекрасный, безопасный.
Обожаю это дерево.
Как их красные вот
Оно
эти
придает
крыши.
такого уюта, надежности, спокойствия, что ли.
Пасадена
там желтый
настолько
фильтр,
богата,
всё
что здесь
правильно.
есть собственный Apple
Он там
Store.
реально есть.
Это город на 200 тысяч, напоминаю.
Вот такая Пасадена. Тихий рай. Пасадена город большой, и у нее есть самые разные жилые кварталы, жилые улицы. Это такой середнячковый.
Пасадена достаточно религиозный город, только я насчитал 5 церквей. Возле одной из них раздавали бесплатно пончики, меня это привлекло, что скрывать. А поскольку это было воскресенье утром, я слышу, как из церкви доносятся звуки службы. Они пели, это было буквально как в кино.
Отсюда доносится музыка. Кажется, я сейчас попаду на традиционную католическую службу с песнями. Я всегда это мечтал.
Блин, на самом деле в Америке, когда заходишь в какую-нибудь церковь, ты никогда не знаешь, на самом деле, в какую именно ты попадешь. Они все с крестами, везде написано католик, а в итоге там какие-нибудь адвентисты 7-го дня, блин, баптисты, там вообще знает кто, короче говоря, могут быть. Вообще никогда непонятно, какие-то харизматики.
Значит, только я
хуяки.
присаживаюсь, сразу же на меня смотрят прихожане, которые рядом, улыбаются и говорят: пой с нами.
Вот так и начинается этот путь. Сейчас вообще кажется, что это саентологи какие-то. А спой с нами, братан.
Очень красивая песня.
Тексты молитв и песен пропитаны любовью. Иисус тебя любит. Иисус любит всех. Слово «любовь» на репите в каждой строчке.
Самая основная песня.
Иисус, наверное, очень удивился, что он всех любит.
Невероятно.
Так можно и в Богу уверовать, мне кажется. Шевцов уже близко. Сейчас на него снизойдет.
В отличие от католических церквей, здесь такая дружественная атмосфера, такая теплая. Я в восторге невероятно.
Блин, братан, попробуй еще в Мормонскую сходить и к саентологам сгоняй еще. Там еще теплее, короче.
Напомню, что Америка достаточно верующая страна. Протестантская церковь достаточно мощная даже по части финансов. Прихожане сюда идут не за милостыней, они приходят за благодарностью за свои успехи. Я вот заметил,
Конечно.
что в православии в церковь идут, когда чего-то не
Не
хватает.
знаю, а у
Когда хватает
Амиши-
все, про церковь забывают.
Это религиозное движение? Я думал, это просто
Вообще,
фермеры
север
какие-то, типа
Лос-Анджелеса это
стерлиги.
бесконечная, необузданная, дикая природа. Просто с пацанами ехали на машине, эти фрики увидели большой красивый мост, и они такие: а давайте туда спустимся. Я наотрез отказался, но, увы, я поддался социальному давлению и пришлось спускаться. Спуск был очень крутой и колючий. Там какие-то растения странные, оно мне через джинсы прокололо.
Вот этот
Насквозь.
весь риск, все вот это скалолазание было ради вот этого.
Так вот потом новости выходят в Калифорнии, там снежная пума там съела 4 долбоебов, которые залезли в дикую природу. Я там много гулял, и там на самом деле можно всегда встретить какое-то дикое животное или дикого бомжа какого-нибудь где угодно. То есть, не знаю, вот приключения, конечно, любят.
По-моему,
они.
я ожидал здесь прям настоящий оазис.
Короче,
Кактус
эта
ядовитый
локация
был.
не
Может
стоит тех рисков, что будут по пути к этой локации, но зато с пацанами хотя бы чайка попили, было романтично. У нас с пацанами в LA часто был вот
Где-то
этот
на
вид
этих дорогах Винс Зампелло
досуга
разложился.
просто идти на хайкинг. Это обыкновенный день. Вы не собираетесь неделями, месяцами с мыслями, а вот мы когда-то пойдем на хайкинг. Это на другом районе, по сути, находится. Это в Калифорнии, особенно
Не,
в
вот это кайф, вот это я согласен. Я сам ходил туда, это супер вообще, это необъяснимо. Ну, не описать словами в этих горах, это невероятно. Там еще направо и вниз в сторону, ну, от озера Тахо, вот где-то на границе с Невадой, там еще горы даже уже и со снегом есть. Там вообще супер кайфово, реально, блядь. Реально очень круто. Там прям есть туристические города, я там такую пивоварню нашел с таким вкусным пивом. Не, он красиво, там прям
так
ты едешь,
круто,
блядь.
просто природа в таком быстром
Или
доступе.
гуляешь в таких
Океан,
горах. Вот это
рай,
самое красивое, что
серф,
там есть. Океан хуйня.
леса, это все в одном городе. Ну а если выехать за город, главной целью, идеей фикс этой поездки было Yosemite. Величайший национальный заповедник, в честь которого назвали одну из версий macOS. И я знал, что Yosemite будет одним из самых
Красиво.
красивых мест, что я
Тут
встречал
красиво.
в мире. И так и оказалось.
Это красиво.
Обалдеть, это
Грим
красиво.
600 боже. Он же невероятно тупой. Он сидит в баптистской протестантской церкви и говорит католику. Он сказал до этого...
Не, ну он же сказал в итоге, что это
оценивая
баптист.
город
Йосемити
идиота
поистине
наподобие ночи,
феноменально
неверно
огромный
слово
национальный
употребляет.
заповедник.
И
Его
эту
площадь
говорящую
3000
голову
квадратных
смотрит, и
километров.
он
Это
имеет
холодная цифра,
Слушай,
которая
если бы
трудно
каждая
объяснять
говорящая
кому-то.
голова сдавала, блядь, экзамен
Просто
на уровень знаний и интеллекта, в интернете, блядь, была бы такая тишина и пустота,
Шепард
буквально.
3213. 400, ну ни в одной другой стране. Нет красивых.
Не, ну таких нет, это, наверное. Ну, блядь, это действительно красиво, братан. Тут ты уж доебываешься до реально крутых вещей. Такой красоты я нигде не видел. Тебе реваншизм говорит, потому что когда-то русские были первыми на этой земле, основали Форт Росс и сказали: все, Калифорния наша, а потом решили, что вокруг нихуя нет, и съебались, когда им дали 10 тысяч долларов. Вот. Поэтому мы потеряли вот этот великий край, Калифорния, страна русов. На самом деле... А, что, отвалился стрим? На самом деле это реально... Ну, я был в красивых горах несколько раз. Я видел Уральские горы. В Кыргызстане я был в горах, но, блядь, Калифорния, братан, даже не сравниваю. Я, конечно, не был в каких-то Альпах, хотя видел их. Ну вот, на фоне, так сказать. Ну, блядь. Там надо вот... Я готов в дискуссию по поводу красоты этих мест вступать только с людьми, которые там были, но они ни с чем спорить не будут.
Обрабатывается человеческим сознанием. Это в 2 раза больше всей лондонской агломерации. В 2 раза больше Лос-Анджелеса, в 4 раза больше Нью-Йорка. Ну и всего лишь в 2 раза меньше Шанхая. Без остановки ты едешь по заповеднику часами, а он не заканчивается. Для лучшего понимания масштаба, вот вам кажется, что я сейчас показываю озеро и горы, да? Нет, это просто вершина горы. Это я на гору забрался. А здесь несколько футбольных полей. Из LA в Йосемити ехать на машине ровно 5 часов, и любой длинный путь, естественно, начинается с инн-аута.
Не, ну давайте уж тогда, не, ну я согласен, Монтана, Far Cry 5 восхитительно, но мы уж, вы уж совсем какой-то шизой занимаетесь, ну, блядь, сравниваете компьютерные игры. Там, где Шевцов прав, я спорить не буду. Это одни из самых красивых мест, которые я видел на Земле. Он, наверное, побольше где был, но даже его это впечатляет. Но там, где он показывает какой-нибудь спортивный клуб или жрет этот вонючий инн-аут, я буду с ним всегда в полемику вступать, потому что это говно. Это говно.
Да,
хотя для большинства людей вот как раз вот что отличает человека, да, умного и сообразительного типа меня и гопника путяжного. То, что вот совсем путяжный гопник, он скажет: инн-аут заебись, а горы это хуйня. Я и в Far Cry могу на них посмотреть, или где-нибудь там, я не знаю, где-нибудь, блядь. Ну где другие горы какие. Полупутяжный, он скажет, блядь, красиво увидев и бургер, блядь, и гору. А я скажу красиво, только посмотрев на гору. Потому что я интеллектуал.
Да, красиво, красиво. А у меня в этот раз Protein Style бургер. Это секретное меню.
Его в обычном меню нет. Его сделают только если ты попросишь. Я решил попробовать. Вместо булки листья салата.
Довольно счастливо просто, как ребенок. Погода еще такая прям.
В какой руке?
В левой. Ну вот в этой.
А, это тут к нему подошли, он с этой телкой. Я видел просто видео, как к нему какой-то гопник доебался, блядь. Это, видимо, тут и было где-то. Неловкая тема, конечно.
Пилотка, как в Одессе, давай.
Да.
Даш.
Пилотка, как в Одессе.
Все. Амбассадор.
Охуенно.
Это буквально Тоскана. Хватает. Уй. Таких длинных. И это просто Тоскана.
Да, длинный туй не помешал бы. Это правда. Тут я понимаю, что ты...
Едешь, у тебя лысые выжженные поля.
Можешь только позавидовать, Алексей. Красивая женщина.
Проедешь
В Калифорнии. Что еще надо? Пилотка, как в Одессе.
Вопреки многим заблуждениям,
Но она,
экономика
видимо, тоже из
Калифорнии —
Одессы
это не
была,
только
я
продажа
думаю.
воздуха. Речь о OpenAI и прочие корпорации, предоставляющие услуги с раздутой капитализацией. Это еще и огромный агроштат. Внимание, это
Блядь,
крупнейший
вообще к чему?
сельскохозяйственный штат США. Во-первых, это мировой
Чтобы,
лидер по
блядь,
выращиванию.
какой-нибудь школьник посмотрел, такой нихуя он не
Четкие фисташки, орехи,
Скажи
виноград,
еще какой-нибудь бургер,
куча
блядь, или
цитрусовых. Я все это к тому, что пока ты едешь по трассе, ты видишь, как меняются эти сельскохозяйственные культуры, рельеф. Едешь и вот буквально восхищаешься этим штатом, что здесь и высокие
Шипар
технологии есть, и еда. Вот просто во всем они
400 Перельман
преуспели.
считает красивым
Так.
4 стены своей хаты, но при этом он решил
Нет, Перельман стопудово сумасшедший. Ну, то есть он как бы, ну, больной в плане того, что, ну, как вот в фильме «Игры разума», что-то такое. То есть он, в принципе, другой жизнь. Или какого-то таланта дополнительного. Я, например, прекрасно знаю, что я вообще ничего не умею делать, кроме как Гоев греть, блядь, на стриме.
В конце жизни он попытался измениться, но просто не успел. Таким мы его и запомнили.
Вот эта область, на которой на тебе висит рассказчик анекдотов, пошляк.
Я решил, что ради исторической справедливости нужно рассказать о пути и ошибках Романа Трахтенберга, который в глубине души хотел себе другой судьбы. То, как мы о нем вспоминаем, не то, что он хотел бы оставить
Ну здорово,
себе
что
в истории.
ты это знаешь.
И на
А
его
кто ты,
ошибках
блядь?
можно попытаться научиться. А
Ты
меня
кто?
зовут Олег
Понял.
Кармунин.
Очень
И это
приятно.
мой канал, где я рассказываю про нашу поп-культуру. Раньше я делал выпуски исключительно про музыку, но теперь я решил расширить тематику. Так что подписывайтесь, пожалуйста, мне будет приятно. Представьте себе, 2005 год, вы заходите в заведение под названием Трахтенберг кафе. Сразу при входе вам наливают стакан водки из чайника. Это условие входа в клуб. Выпиваете, заходите в темное помещение, где из динамиков орет шансон. Садитесь за липкий стол, на котором стоит туалетная бумага, железные тюремные миски, стаканы с подстаканниками, как в поезде, и пепельница в виде
дырявая ложка.
алюминиевой кружки. Над столом висят грязные трусы и старые газеты. К вам подходит официантка и дает 2 меню. Обычное с закусками и выпивкой, а также лист под названием «Быть», где по завышенному прайсу можно сломать мебель, кинуть тарелку в стену или устроить дебош. Вы заказываете себе стопарик, и тут на сцену выходит конферансье.
Я вас не вижу, оскорблю. Вы меня видите. Вы все глубокие, никому не нужны.
Признайтесь честно, это не то место, где бы вы хотели оказаться. Но
Блять, это именно то место, где я бы хотел оказаться. Ты чё, долбоёб, что ли?
таковы были
Звучит
нравы
отлично.
эпохи. Он находился на пике своей карьеры и открыл на Ленинградском проспекте популярный клуб, где устраивал скандальные шоу. Многие шли туда исключительно ради того, чтобы нажраться и побарагозить. И сама эстетика заведения это поощряла.
И...
Но сам Трахтенберг в глубине души хотел, чтобы все было не так. Он работал клоуном, но весь этот мир грязных клубов и голых женщин был ему глубоко отвратителен, потому что он вырос в совершенно другой среде, рядом с художниками и театральными деятелями. И все могло сложиться иначе.
Давайте перейдем.
Блять, я даже не знаю, как это прокомментировать. Я не могу видос воспринимать серьезно, честно вам признаюсь. Это какая-то ерунда, блять. Это какая-то чушь ебаная. Бедный великий Трахтенберг, как он страдал в этих кабаре. Ты... Надо вам какую-то заглушку поставить. Давайте, пусть они на ринге. Она смотрит видосы, а я пойду пописываю, чтобы вы не уходили со стрима.
Которая стала непроходимой. Возможно, это трудно понять людям из рубежа, но такая у них культура. Я понимаю, что вероятность того, что их действия нанесут ущерб интересам Square Enix крайне мала, но при этом подавляющее большинство японцев из...
Смешно и забавно, как компании сами же продвигают пиратство. Sony ATV — это уже открытый доступ к нарушениям АП. А до этого выпускали плееры для воспроизведения пиратов.
Не на ненавидит
больше
само
3,
понятие
да-да-да.
пиратства. Это такая страна, буду рад, если вы это поймете. Ему на английском
Надо
замечают,
прописать,
что
да, Найтвольф, да.
легально не значит морально. Это разные вещи. Отвечает, что да, именно так, поэтому я думаю, что понимания не будет.
Китай
В Японии...
творили, да и PDF благодарен. Везде есть PDF, но культура с мировой известностью и маркетингом только в Японии.
Нет, не только в Японии. Но давайте не будем об этом говорить.
В Японии закон имеет приоритет над всеми обстоятельствами. И именно это делает Японию одной из наиболее Ну и пояснение, что оригинальный автор — это существо, равное Богу. Поэтому уважать оригинального автора — это само собой...
Сколько он прожил? Еще он, блядь, хотел...
Ходит официант,
Чтобы вы не уходили со стрима, где моя фейк-вебка.
Опа.
Your middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Curious. Such fascinating images. What's over there? What's over there?
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Such fascinating images. With pleasure. With pleasure.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Excellent idea.
Your top tower is under attack.
Absolutely. If it pleases.
Сука.
Indeed.
Сейчас будем показывать. О. Yeah.
Under attack. Your bottom tower has fallen.
as it pleases. Critical. Requiem scene? Yes. With pleasure. I agree.
Roshan has fallen to the dice.
I see. Indeed. Curious. Indeed. Excellent.
Your top tower is under attack.
Interesting. Absolutely. With pleasure. I agree. Critical. Yes. Such. I see. Indeed.
Your top tower has fallen.
Yes. I'll be creeping while you are sleeping. Interesting. What's absolutely. I understand.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Such fascinating images. What's over there? No challenge. Indeed. Absolutely. Interesting. Excellent. With pleasure. This will be fun. If it pleases me.
Your top tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen. Your middle tower has fallen.
Батя подставился.
Your top barracks are under attack.
Давай! Ва.
Your middle barracks has fallen. Your bottom tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified. Your bottom barracks has fallen. The enemy now has mechanisms. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen. Your middle tower has fallen.
We finished our wooden cars made completely out of natural materials, and today we're going to be testing them. We're going to do an off-road race. Tyler! Oh my god! Oh! He passed him! We're going to be doing a tug of war. What are you doing? You and your dad built a bad box. That's cool! Tony! There you go. Danny, you're on fire! Danny, you're on fire! We had Tyler's car here, made out of like 6,000 pounds of logs, as you remember. Tyler and his father built that together. Then we have Danny's car here, which fell apart immediately multiple times.
3 cars and we got 50 yards.
We have my car, which was the nicest we all agreed on. It had no problems really. Brady's car, he built this with his dad. They struggled every moment of the way, like really ran into a lot of roadblocks. As you can see, it's sagging a lot. Watch when I put a ton of weight on it. We're gonna be testing all these today. Nick, tell us what you did to everyone else's cars.
Their cars, nothing. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it'd be fair for me to fix your cars with a $5,000 prize on the line.
And how much time would you say you spent on Cody's car?
Too much.
My grandpa was admitted to the ER with multiple liver diseases, lung disease, heart cancer. Nick has made sure that they're at least like good to go, so we're not going to have too many problems today. These should be flawless. My main concern with mine is when it gets going too fast, some of the body panels can start fluttering off. The first challenge is the most important. It's whichever car lasts the longest going up the driveway. It's going to be 3 points for the winner, 2 points for second place, 1 point for third place, 0 for the fourth. Who wants to go first up the driveway?
Let's just get Tyler's out of the way so we can go inside and warm up.
You can go to town if you want.
Oh well, okay.
Like,
oh my god.
You made it! Around that, you're not on my team.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, we almost, we would have been right there. It would have went like all the way down. That was crazy.
Wow.
What is all this?
Gas.
Oh. Bro, look, it's coming loose.
That's an easy fix.
That was actually very impressive. That did great.
It was gonna go like 10 feet.
I don't understand how
That did great.
This will be
We'll
a
leave it
reference.
here, and we'll compare all the others to this. So now's a good time to talk about the company layoffs. Danny, if you can make it further than Tyler,
You can stay in the company.
show us the steering, because he said he fixed it, but I see a lot of flex in it. Like,
Look at that.
He spent more time on the tongue.
Yeah, bro.
And not like hitch tongue or trailer tongue, like actual literal tongue.
Carving the teeth.
And the Bluetooth.
Hey, there are points for speed, by the way.
Wait.
There are. No! Of course. Let us know when you're ready.
He lost all his momentum. That's cheating. Oh, he's on fire! You're on fire! Danny, you're on fire! Danny, you're on fire! He literally got on fire, bro! No, you're on fire! Oh my god!
Hey, he's not. It's not over yet, technically.
Holy
You can
cow,
keep going
bro.
if you want, or you can call it here. This is the finish line. Okay. Show me your pack.
Caught on fire.
Oh my god. Bro, it's a line through.
Flames coming off his back. You shouldn't have told him. Next is Brady, and what did you name this?
This is the
Semi-quadra automatic.
Okay, so he doesn't have a name.
John.
He named it John. Brady's gonna go up the driveway, see how fast he can make it. Now it's gonna be by time.
I'm
so.
considering not even going too hard here, just to secure the 1 point and just kind of cruise around Thailand. Because I don't want to break this.
Sure.
I worry about the front axle.
Sure, he worries about it.
Let it rip, Brady! Oh my god!
Brady.
That's not good.
Complications here.
Oh my
Said
god.
I stayed true to the challenge.
He had an option to take a metal
Oh,
axle too.
thank God I'm done with this.
Oh my god.
Where you going, Brady?
Oh no. Imploded axle. So wait, to get a point, all I have to do is get to there? I told everyone that Nick could install any parts that they wanted, and Brady chose to keep his wooden axle. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Cody, I can't help but notice there's an alarming amount of ferrous material.
No, I painted that with metal paint. It's actually...
Nick, here's the thing. I don't know how to drive this at all.
That's the same.
So I'm gonna hop in and you have to show me.
You want him to build the car, drive
Can I get an
the car.
Insta360 in my cab?
Can you do the challenge for me, please?
Oh, look how easy she rolls, baby. All right, I'm gonna start it and let it warm up.
Cody, why did you do that? Hey, Cody! You had the best.
You broke everything, Cody. It's all broken.
I would steer left, but it would go right. So I like this.
God.
I just fished it into the wall. I just shot it right into the wall.
Second place, baby.
Guys, put me in neutral.
Ah, my butt! Push it forward!
Prepare for battle.
Okay, now stop. I can do this.
God, dude, this video's...
Get out of the way! No!
Major
drastic damage now, buddy.
No! No! It's way worse. I just try getting one more gear, and the faster you go, the harder it does to keep straight, and it did it again, and just hurt.
Look at that chassis twist. Probably should have stopped driving when you were ahead.
It looks like a terrible accident happened, bro. Well, Brady lost.
You didn't exactly win.
Alright, well, I need to have a chat with Nick. Come over here privately, Nick. Tyler's car, my car, and Brady's car. We do need those fixed and running again.
It's like a week's worth of work.
I don't think it's a week of work. I think it's like 6.5 days. All right, well, we're gonna go inside and chill. Nick is gonna fix all these. We can do a time lapse of Nick getting all these fixed.
Good luck with mine, big dog. I don't know.
We're gonna do an off-road race in the grass. This is what the cars are built for. This is nature, real grass. That's right. This is not AI or CGI or green screen. We're all gonna race for the grand prize of $5,000. Whoever passes the power line pole first wins. The rubber compounds on these tires should hook really good on this fresh tarmac. I feel like Danny's gonna rip like one of those uphill climbing dirt bikes. It's gonna like pull a wheelie off your line.
What are we thinking, Brady?
I'm thinking good car fast, down power line first.
Tyler, what are we thinking, bro?
Heavy, slow.
Heavy, slow.
Optimistic?
Winning?
No. My name is Cody, and when I was 6 years old, my uncle...
All right, next. Yes. I like it, I like it, I like it.
Nick, how do I shift it? All gears up, but first gear is down. Oh, it starts easy. Watch it.
Starts right up, baby.
Oh, yeah. Listen to them struggle.
This thing cannot help but just rotate. Danny already made it. Oh, he's already got it.
Listen to Tyler. Oh my God.
Oh, your front wheel. That's not good. It's a good time to mention I'm the only one with wood axle, wooden frame, wooden everything except my truck. What do you do, buddy?
The whole car exploded again. I don't know.
What are you doing?
What was that? What the? Why is this Long John Jalopy Mobile beating everyone?
Well, he spent, let's see here, all of his time over the last 4 weeks, bro, perfecting his wooden car.
He drove it all the way back. Wait, hey! There's 3 screws holding the whole engine.
There was more.
Done. Get off my team.
I think he's on.
You're done. You have 3 screws,
No,
3 short wood screws holding my engine in. You're gonna have to look my teary-eyed grandpa in the eyes as he doesn't win the $5,000 because your mistake. Tyler, did you make it past the finish line? No. I'll go up to each car. So Danny, yours broke back here sideways. Did you drive it all the way back? Oh my God. Wait, what? Hold up. No.
He was fabricating.
Welded metal steering? What happened to Brady's car? Oh. Oh, you might want to put that neutral, bad boy. Nick, who's fixing this? Oh my God. I can't believe it made it that far. Oh, he skidded to a stop like a plane. Tyler just crashed landed.
You know what we discovered though? Go grease it.
You're supposed to grease these every 5 hours.
I totally forgot to grease it up.
No, every 5,000 miles you're supposed to grease these.
Of course you do a second change.
It's a 2026. Should be under warranty. No, they don't go by the plant date. They go by the harvest date. Well, we're gonna leave these out in the rain. Nick can fix. Actually, no, Nick, get the away from all this. Go. So Danny won. Ripped around the post.
I like how we were all laughing at that last episode.
So this is gonna be a highly even challenge. We're gonna be doing a tug of war. Now, I do need to tell everyone, unfortunately, we discovered last night that Team Danny had a major accident. They were hit on the highway by a drunk driver going the opposite way, and he died. So the first is gonna be Brady's wood car. Why am I against Tyler? Versus Tyler. What do you call this?
My steering wheel is bigger than my axle.
Tyler, if you want to talk about your modifications with me.
Yeah, we got a zero turn front wheel on here.
He has a rubber tire because his wooden tire failed miserably. Tyler has this nice hitch on the back, 18-inch lag bolts going right into solid oak with this massive rope and pintle hitch going to Brady's
Reinforced alloy frame.
twig. So this should be fairly even. We'll do a pre-game interview with Brady now.
This is my car. It's made of wood. This is the Chain Keeper Honor 950. Nick built this out of only manufactured wood. If the chain comes off now, I'll be actually super surprised. I am really worried. Nothing actually.
Wait, why did it stop?
I bumped into him.
Oh, that was great. You lose immediately. When you put it in drive, it's like the whole axle loaded up, like ready to go.
So
he put it in drive and like the chain immediately snaps. Now it's gonna be me versus Danny's car. Nick is gonna be stepping in since Danny's in a coma. Nick, how do we operate this thing?
I'm not exactly sure. Pretty sure this is a shifter. Got a clutch here.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna snatch it.
I think that would negatively affect both.
I'm gonna snatch it going 40. See, I have a cab and a roll cage. You have nothing to protect your head. Nick has done significant repairs to this. It's been in the lift for like 3 months. Dumping oil. We dumped a gallon of oil last time, but I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna hop in here.
Hopefully you win a challenge, man, because right now you're tied.
Damn sap leakage. Hey, you know what? I want extra weight in here for this. No. Yeah. Human. I need a human. No. God. Holy. Jesus. Bro, be careful. Shifter and clutch is right back. Why is he on it? Never mind. Get out.
Your top tower is under attack.
Oh, my car. God.
That's your fault, dude.
What are you doing? Ew. What are you doing?
Your top tower is under attack.
That was a really weak tug of war, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we both spun out. Who won?
I guess you.
I mean, his chain came off. That means it's me versus Tyler.
Oh God, yes!
Yes! Line it up! You lost the hubcap!
I waited my whole challenge for this challenge. Oh no, Rick, I'm still in reverse.
This car's dying. You got a chance, Cody. Go! And he just started his truck up.
No! Stop! You will not! I will stand.
What are you even talking about?
And the winner of the first annual ever wooden car tug of war, with further consideration, long judging by the judges, we would like to present Brady with the loss.
Oh.
And we would like to present myself
Oh.
with middle place.
You are the
And we would like to finally, without further ado, the winner, and maybe even the $5,000, is Nick with Danny's car. Disqualified. Tyler is the winner of multiple diseases.
Enemy's bottom
Never
tower
in its
has
life
fallen.
did this tree think it would be driving. Next is the freestyle challenge. Now you all will be given points on style and freestyle. What does that mean? No, the challenge is over to make the gas. I feel like it's gonna be tied between Danny and my car because that one's losing.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Just be ready to follow me all the way to like Oklahoma.
Oh my god.
Enemy's top tower has fallen.
Pumps are down.
No, we're screwed. I just drove an hour here.
The whole thing's falling apart.
Look at the neighbor sent me.
Oh. Hello. I thought it was me. You're all out of sap. Nah, never mind.
Never mind, nah.
So the exhaust came off right away, the Spirit of Ecstasy came off, the cab started coming off, the bed separated from the cab, and then my flooring came apart right here. This whole floorboard is cracked open. I had to use my brake pretty hard to stop here, so yeah, it's going good. So there's plenty of room. You're gonna be shifting.
This is not ergonomic at all.
You seen this? I made it out of trees. Thank you. We're gonna drive it back now.
Is your ignition on? Like your key?
Yeah,
Key
it
on?
is. Okay.
Works the tree.
All right, put me into first.
Give me a little bit of throttle.
I got it. You don't need to look at my truck. You need to be looking at that right now. Hey, run back to the shop and get fuel.
He's just trying to enjoy his driveway and we're goofing off and hey Alex, just go get both of those bikes. Those aren't street legal, man.
Here they are. Give me the gas.
Don't park in the middle of the road. Good job, John.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, you can't park there.
You can't be a
loser.
I don't know about that. Now we're blocking this guy's driveway.
Oh my god.
Move the G-Wagon. David, just go home.
Hey guys, is the fuel on?
Fuel is off, sir.
You turned it off earlier, didn't you?
Fuel is off.
Brady, turn the fuel off. Oh my god.
It's in reverse.
Ow!
Because the whole cab fell.
Now we're cooked and I think we're gonna have to drop in the ditch.
Dang old medicine man, just to see what he had for free. I said I'm getting up there and it's
Put the
all
parking brake on. Thank you.
They're back.
Now flip him off. All right, well, we got to bounce. So my car made it all the way to the gas station and halfway back, a third of the way back. That was worth a lot of, there's clout at minimum that my car was able to do that. The next cars, they're going to try to make it to the gas station and back. Annie's car, Tyler's car, and Brady's car. Yeah, you guys can all go. Nice cruise. Go out and get some fresh air. Feel the wind in your hair.
Whenever you're going more than like a kilometer, you gotta move it up a little bit. There we go.
Ooh. What the hell? No free oiling. 3, 2, 1, go!
Tyler, hold on! What's happening?
Start it back. He's gonna do a flyby!
You're done! You're done! The whole engine broke. Oh, it busted at the mouth. Dude, that's a lot of force. We were doing so good.
I think you're done, bud.
And you're leaking ants.
It can be refilled.
Yeah, anyways, let's dump it into the ditch so it's out of the way.
What's the ants staying in? The ants! Oh, okay, there you go. Cody, what's up? All his ants!
Alright, now it's Brady's turn. I made it 16 miles. Tyler made it 10 feet. This is your time to shine.
So if I beat Tyler, what does that mean?
I don't know, you have to beat me at least.
I am not taking the boys instead of
I know you just built a bad car, loser. And you and your dad built a bad car. Uh-oh. Can you go?
Can you go? Can you go? Can you go? Hey, can you fix it?
I love how everybody was helping like me and Tyler, but nobody's helping Radio.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Oh, get off! Get off! Get off! Fail!
That does not count for anything at all.
Look at them. Dude, smell like a woodworking shop. Alright, Danny's car.
Where are you going?
I literally passed him going uphill. He looks over and he's like, bro, what? This thing is so fun to drive.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, he's dead. Hold on. The jump pack pushed you into reverse. Oh.
set sail. Dude, it was holding up. I can't. How is it still on there? What happened?
I said that was gonna happen.
It's still going though. The car just died. Look, the boot split again. No. Yeah, big air leak. We were going for a while like that.
It's way faster than your car, honestly. It's so fast.
My arms are tingling just from the vibration.
Can we drag it into the ditch right here? Drag it into the ditch here and then come fix the baby up right here. Let's drop. It just looks like free though, but I got I have atheist religion.
That there's a church behind you.
My atheist church has Easter Sunday.
So Cody just gave up entirely. I think we're gonna be. Is that Nick? Where's he going? I don't know.
Been working on these wood cars for like the past 3 months now. Cody says one more time every time I finish them. As soon as he takes it out, it breaks again. Guess whose fault it is? It's fine. It's just like I'm going in circles with these cars now. Like, what even is this job? I came here to be a mechanic. I used to have a cool job before I started working here. Things that were like actually important. Worked at Lockheed Martin before this. Now I'm working for Whistle and Diesel. Working on wood cars, getting splintered. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're gonna like fix these cars up one last time. We're gonna do like 3 to 4 more challenges. Hey Nick! Hey, where are you going?
Dire structures are fortified.
They only need Jason, what do you think like the most durable car was? 1 point. What's the most durable? It had, yeah, but like look at it now. Tyler's car is something long. Yeah. Tyler gets 1 point for most durable. What car is the fastest car? Actually, it's probably Danny. It had to be Danny. So Danny gets a point for fastest car. Out of the 4 cars, which is the best looking car?
I mean, gotta be Cody's for sure.
So that does make Tyler the winner. Tyler had 8 points, Cody had 7 points, and Danny had 7 points. That puts Tyler ahead by 1 point, and I had 2 points. Let's go give Tyler his mic.
What's up, man?
This is crazy. What is it? What are you building?
It's Autobot.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Transformer.
It's super cool, yeah. We did a recalculation of the points for the wooden car challenge. It turns out that the GT Tree RS came out on top.
Wait, what? No way!
Dude, the trunk won.
You guys were making fun of me for months, saying I was big and clunky.
Well, that's still true. But yeah, trunk won. Hopefully it was worth it. Maybe you'll split the money with your dad or, you know.
Yeah, I will.
You're welding it?
As long as you only destroy 49% of it, you're fine.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thanks,
You won.
man.
Yeah.
Your middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
Ich bin ein kleiner Geschäftsmann. Na los, sag was. Sag jetzt etwas Businessmäßiges.
Wenn deine innere Stimme keine Ruhe gibt. Orbit-Kaugummi, kau gut.
I have just bought a Bugatti Veyron. With a small issue.
I'll be honest, a Bugatti was never on my dream car list.
Very possibly the best car we'll see in our lifetime.
I just didn't think it was ever attainable.
They did it only as a technical exercise to see if it could be done.
There was only ever 450 ever made.
This is so much more than any car you've ever seen.
And today, Veyrons are going for over £1.5 million.
How did I have? 750 with Clotilde, 1,150,000. 2 million two.
If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it.
And this is all if you can even find one for sale. But have you ever heard of law of attraction?
If you can see it here,
and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
And that's exactly what did. Whilst I was out in Florida rebuilding Alex's Chiron, I had a message from a repossession company who was selling a Bugatti Veyron with an array of problems. And it's weird, in my life I feel like opportunities have been thrown right in front of my face, and if I didn't take them, I could have gone in so many different directions. And I feel like this was another one of those opportunities that I could not miss out on. So I had to take the risk.
The Bugatti Veyron will pass through the air at 252.
The Veyron is about pushing the outside of the envelope.
16 cylinders, 8 litres,
4 turbo,
and 1,000 horsepower.
I love this car.
And I had just committed to buying one for a lot cheaper than the usual price, but with hopes I was going to be able to fix it. Room is being made. This is a random Tuesday night, and I think it's going to be probably the biggest Tuesday night of my life so far. To try and take this all in, I can't believe what is actually happening. It was kind of a bit of an impulse, but it had to be an impulse because we had to commit to whether we're doing it or not. But I can't believe I'm saying this. Right now, Bugatti Veyron is coming into the garage. My Bugatti Veyron. What the hell? Here it arrives. About 8 hours ago, we saw it for about 20 minutes and had to make a decision there and then. But sometimes the best decisions are impulse decisions. And this certainly was one.
Did you ever think that was Bugatti?
No. Absolutely not, but fair play to him. Proud.
I really didn't think. Oh my god! And there it is. My Bugatti Veyron. Words I never thought I'd ever say. Wow. Whoa! It looks so good. It looks so good. I feel like it's kind of... I don't know why, but it really...
Еблан, блядь, что я тебе сделаю? Ты даун просто, блядь. Что ты пишешь,
It's just taking my And now I do know why. My Volkswagen Lupo was the first car I ever really had to save up for. And I remember picking it up and how proud I felt that all the work that I'd done had bought me a car I really wanted. And that same feeling was brought back to the Bugatti somehow.
Remind you of it even more. Here you go. Nice.
I don't know if it can get better than this. I really don't think it can get better than this. And can it? Really? It's a Veyron. It's so good. Now it's about to be loaded into my home garage.
Liam, are you going to be the first person to drive the Veyron?
I'm the first person to drive the Veyron, because I don't think he's going to let me drive it any other time. This is cool.
This is what's holding the car
Your middle tower is under
from
attack.
impending doom in a minute. And Ethan's controlling it.
Oh my god.
Можешь мне объяснить, что ты хочешь?
Yeah, you're fine.
Что ты ебал, сказал, что ты вот тебя выиграешь.
Look at that. Oh my days.
I'm
never driving this. Oh my god.
Oh wow!
Oh, what? Look at that! It's like a jewellery box. Now, I've never even sat in a Veyron before, so all of this stuff was new to me. And to be honest, everything looked in decent condition. Oh, it's number 34.
Блядь, да нет, блядь, ты
And
же
the car was
посмотри
built
кнопки,
for
прокликай,
Dubai.
блядь. Ты же понимаешь,
And the
что есть
country of
возможность
destination was
нажимать на
Dubai.
посмотреть КД. У меня в
I would've
КД было,
started.
блядь, кнопка. Кроме
Because it
креста,
does
блядь.
start.
Что я твоим крестом?
I don't know how long we can run it for, because I think the coolant is low on it.
У тебя, блядь,
And I
руки,
don't know
блядь,
where
на то, чтобы нажимать, блядь, глаза, то, чтобы смотреть. Блядь, зайди, нажми на мою комнату.
W16, 4 turbos, 16 cylinders. What the hell is going on? Believe it or not, it does actually run. And although it runs, it fails to drive. And this brings us on to the issue.
I'll get over it.
Offizieller Sponsor.
Now, when you buy a car from a repossession company, all you get is the keys. That's it. So I have no idea of the history of this car, no idea why it got repossessed, or the issues with it. So first thing I did is put this registration plate into Car Vertical, and I didn't think that this car would actually come on this registration. Turns out it does, so I have got this registration with the car. And another thing I can see, it's actually registered as white on here. But we found out that this is actually a wrap. The whole car is wrapped, and I can see from the inside of the door, it's like a light blue colour, and then this looks like a dark blue colour. So it'd be interesting to see what it's actually like underneath the wrap as well. Another thing I can see is that the car didn't even come to the UK until 2018. And that backs it up with this. Because underneath here I can see that it was made in Mulsanne, France, chassis number 34, but the car was built to be in Dubai. Now I've heard a lot of things about cars which go to Dubai, and apparently the ones which are built for Dubai are supposedly meant to be better cooling because of the heat. I don't know how true that is, but all of these Veyrons are left-hand drive, so that's not an issue for me that it was registered in Dubai and it come to the UK. Since it's been in the UK, the mileage has shot up, but then slowing right down since 2023. Another interesting thing I've seen on here is that the car was MOT'd in July 2025, which isn't that long ago. The problem that this car has must have happened within those 8 months, but what worries me is if the guy stopped paying his finance because he couldn't afford the repair on the car. And that's the big question. How did it end up getting repossessed? But on the good side, because it has been repossessed now, I can see on the Car Vertical check that there is no outstanding finance on it. Now overall, the car is in pretty much immaculate condition for its age. The interior barely has any marks on it. Yes, it's a few things in and there with tuning replacing, but there always is going to be that 2006 car. The good thing that this car stops being so the car runs. To me, it sounds like it has a small misfire. But take a look at the dash. The dash is lit up with the engine. I tried to I can't back to this £50. And on top of that, for one, from parts don't think workshop. In works, I'm gonna die hearing with 30 faults. Before we even look at what they are, I'm gonna erase them and we'll see what comes back. That's the best way. Now, best case scenario, we erase all these fault codes and everything works. Go off.
Your middle tower.
And then we're going to go back on, and if this goes into gear, I will lose my mind. But after we'd erased them and then started back up, put on the brakes, still wasn't looking good.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
No. We've still got a transmission light. Engine light is back on and flashing.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good back there.
And now when I scan the faults again, I can see the misfire issue. Cylinder 8, no signal. Now this could mean multiple things, but at the minute it's pinned down to ion current at cylinder 8. So that could mean that the coil pack, which is in charge of giving the spark plug the spark, is faulty or broken. And the strange thing about this is that when I remember back to Mark's videos, who also had the broken gearbox, it also had a similar fault.
It had got a misfire, which we diagnosed down to an ion control module.
So what are the chances that mine with a broken gearbox and Mark's with a broken gearbox also have the same misfire fault?
Multiple misfire detection. Cylinder 12 misfire, cylinder 10 misfire, 16 misfire, 10 misfire, 11 misfire. How many misfires? There's loads of reasons why it could be misfiring, like loads. Like, could need a service, could have bad spark plugs, could have bad coils, could be a problem with the ECU. What do you think it is, Kev?
At the minute, no. Because even though we're getting somewhere with the misfire, we still have no idea why it won't go into gear. Enter here a transmission pump. And we don't know Alex, you remember when we were before? It'll be okay, but I ain't heard that. Now the way this car changes gears is with solenoids. They open and close to direct the transmission fluid, which then pushes the shifter fork into the correct gear. But to do this, the gearbox needs oil pressure, and that pressure is made electronically with a pump. And like the SVJ, the pump should prime before you even start the car to make sure you've got that gearbox pressure instantly. Hear any pump?
Your top tower has fallen.
Unsere kleine Meistertorte, Stracciatella Kirsch. Einfach meisterhaft. Jetzt probieren.
Your middle tower is under attack.
There. We thought we could hear the pump, but wasn't too sure. Where's that the pump? I think it'd be louder. On the SVJ, the pump needs to build up pressure in the solenoids so you can change gear. And when the SVJ had low transmission shifter fluid, the pump kept going and going and going and going until eventually it just stopped because it gave up, it couldn't build up enough pressure. If that's the pump we can hear, it should only be on until it's built up pressure, but at the minute it sounds like it's too going to. I feel like it's too quiet. Then, a fault appeared on the auto.
Pump has exceeded switch-on switching time. The pump has either stayed on for too long and not built up enough pressure because there's no oil in it, and then it's exceeded its switch on time, so it stops itself burning out. So it stops itself burning out because it's just pumping round and round and round and it's not building up enough pressure, so it goes, I give up. Or
Животное ебаное, ты 3.10 бегаешь на ВК, блядь. У тебя нахуй, если что, случай, блядь, у тебя еще есть реинкарнация. Я могу твои смерти просто на X2 увеличить. То есть ты 20 раз сдох за игру, блядь. Прикинь, насколько ты нищий ебаный, блядь. Просто нищий ёб конченый, нахуй. 20 раз сдох. 20 раз чел сдох, блядь, за 36 минут, блядь, охуенно. Чё-то он еще выписывает мне, блядь.
Okay, we need to get that pump to turn on, so if I turn it off...
Your bottom tower has fallen.
No transmission. Pump on. Yes. Pump off. So the pump did come on. Pump's on. Pump's on. Pump off.
The pump didn't want to stay on, which is weird. And what about the pressure?
6 центриватт, 6 центриватт, я ебаный сын шлюхи, не умею фармить на ВК с радиком, нахуй, 6 центриватт. Не хватает обзора в нижней части леса, не хватает обзора.
Could because it's got no fluid in it. We also have no coolant. We also have a coolant leak and we also have a misfire. There's lots of faults that we need to solve here, and to do any of it, we need to get this back bit off because the coolant tank is here. If it's like the Chiron, and I think the transmission stuff is over there. If we could find out how this has happened, it would give us a way better insight into what we need to look for. So, you know, if someone's already diagnosed the problem, we're not going to be taking out the car for a problem that somebody's already diagnosed. We should make some phone calls, do a bit of Googling before we go anywhere else.
Давай, братанчик, 6 центри варс, давай, первый пошел нахуй. Сейчас по-любому всех их заебашу. Раз, тычечка, ой, блять, а где дэмэдж? Дэмэджа нету. Братанчик, 6 центри варс, 6 центри варс, блять, просто легенда нахуй. Настолько ты нищий сын, блядь, что тебя даже, бля, ебаный акс типа, нахуй, чел рефрешер купил, нахуй, да, блядь. Такую хуйню видел, блядь.
With my Bugatti Veyron parked behind it, which now also has a gearbox problem as well. It just seems too much of a coincidence that those two were together and they both have similar issues. So we had to get on the phone.
Hi, Mark. How's your Bugatti? Well, snap. There's some. Yeah. It is situation
To any of the problems. So I guess that leaves me trying to diagnose and repair this myself. I don't even know where to start. We've got the misfire, we've got the coolant leak, and we've got the shifting into no gears. The most expensive one to me sounds like the shifting into no gears, so I'd like to try and solve that first. But to do any of that, to access the engine, we need to get this engine cover off, and I know exactly how to do it because I'm a Bugatti tech who watches YouTube. Let's get it off. So to do this, we remove this seal round here, which allows us access to a load of 10mm bolts. I know this because I've already seen it on YouTube before. You don't actually have to take out the 10mm, just loosen them. Then there's one T30 in the center, and then there's two multi-torques, one each side of the wing. I've undone one, then Liam's going to undo the other one. I'm then just going to lower the wing to move it out of the way, and the back panel should come off.
Yes.
Once we've disconnected the rear lights.
Why is it talking? It's going, please help me.
No, it's...
Auf wirklich gar nicht.
Coldster. It's just like a British car, yeah. It's just like any Brit which hold this under tray to the bottom of the car. And the more we undid, the more we seen how much TLC this car really needed. As the car lift blocked a lot of the under tray, we had to come on. And here's the cable. When I turn that, you should be able to. But so the hunt for why the car doesn't go into gear continues. But another thing on my mind is the misfire as well. And it seems to be a lot worse from cold start. Earlier, I noticed that I didn't hear these secondary air pumps power up when I put the ignition on in the car. And I did have a look on the auto to see if I could get them to power up separately. Secondary air injection pump relay. But when I clicked activate, it said it was running, but nothing was turning on. I didn't think this was much of a problem, as I couldn't see a reason why this would cause a misfire. But that was until I called Ricky from RE Performance about it. Hi. I think it's something, well, I originally thought it was something to do with vacuum or something along those lines, but I didn't know whether you had any ideas of going, oh yeah, I know, on these Volkswagens cold start, what?
Not cold start so much. I mean, yeah, you might have a vac leak, or if your secondary air's leaking.
What, those little air pumps?
Yeah.
So if they leak, that can cause like a misfire from cold start?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But basically what happens then is you get an exhaust leak.
And this can happen because when the secondary air pump turns on to allow that air to flow into the exhaust, the solenoid opens up a valve to allow the air to flow through. Now, if that solenoid is opening up the valve to allow the air to flow through, but the secondary air pump isn't working, then the exhaust fumes coming out of the exhaust are going to flow back up that chamber and out of the secondary air pump, which will cause a misfire because the lambda sensors in the exhaust are getting a false reading.
We're all on the agreement that it's something to do with air, vacuum, or something along those lines. It's just where is it coming from? Check solenoids, and the air pumps is one thing I haven't heard. I haven't heard these things. They normally make a really loud whirring sound from cold start, and I haven't heard them.
So what I'm going to do now is test them by sending power directly to it. And this one worked.
So the secondary air pump works, that side. There's 4 though.
And the 2 on the other side were really difficult to get to. So instead of trying to fight it, I decided to just take them off so I could test them off the car.
Yes. Please let that be the fault. Please. Please be broken, because that would mean I'm good. There's no way I've done that for no reason. Ow! That wire is really hot.
Neu Gliss Scout Balance für bis zu 72 Stunden Oil Control und gesünderes Haar. Schwarzkopf Gliss.
Mehr für jeden Tag. So stolz wie Papa. Zweiteiler für die ganze Familie. Ab 5,99 € je Teil. Entdecke unsere trendigen Sets für jeden Tag. Und für die besonderen Momente. Mehr in deiner Filiale. Kick. Mehr als du denkst.
Both of them work. We haven't heard them when they've started up, so the relays might not be flicking them on. So all the air pumps work, but whatever's telling them to turn them on clearly isn't working. So I called over Dips, who has a more in-depth diagnostic tool who can plug into the Veyron and see if he can get the secondary air pumps to turn on remotely. But whilst I was about to do that, I gave Carl Hartley a call, because if anyone's going to know anything about Bugattis in the UK, it's going to be Carl. I think you're the guy to speak to about this.
Okay, hit me with it.
Yeah.
Use it a lot. Now, I think the guy probably thought it's easier to have this car repossessed off the finance.
2 and 2 together, and there's actually a photo of his car, and before buying a car, if you want to find out the history of it, click to the car, and Ricky from RE Performance is remotely logged into it, and he's going to see if he can get the secondary air pump to start up using the tool.
Is on, it's going.
No.
Right.
No.
Should just be going click, 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 click,
No.
click, click,
Nothing. But nothing was happening, and by chance, I wanted to see if he could turn on the gearbox pump as well. Can you turn that pump on?
Yeah, 2 seconds. You made a pump run.
The secondary air pump?
Gearbox.
What now?
Yeah, if you had a gearbox pressure run.
I can't hear it when it's running. It's like, when we got the ignition on, I can hear it.
So the gearbox thinks the pressure relay's running. The relay's on, so it thinks the pump's running. That's why you get the error, because then it will go, oh yeah, no pressure.
So Ricky can see on his laptop that the car thinks the pump's running, but no pressure is building up, and I can't hear the pump actually going. So could this all be an electrical fault? Okay.
Like that would be set off 1 or 2 fuses, and you've probably blown one big fuse.
Again, could come down to a tiny fuse or a tiny relay, and if it is, I have got one hell of a bargain here. All the fuses are in here. Were there any behind the seat? Can you remember when we took Alex's shoe apart? Were there any fuses behind the seat?
I don't think so. It was just that panel was velcroed on.
Yeah, that was it. There was nothing. That was it. So I think they're all here for the car. So I know there's a little hatch, but I think these are going to be little fuses for small things. But Ricky seems to think like if it's probably going to be a big fuse or a big relay, which I think is going to be inside that. But before we start, we might as well check these and go through everything. And if we can find a faulty fuse, we're looking good. Now, because there's not much information out there about Veyrons, we don't actually have a fuse diagram, so we don't know what each fuse we're checking for actually does. But there's no harm in checking each individual one, which is what I was doing now.
Good.
And most of them seemed good. Until I got to one.
Okay. Oh, I found it. Oh dear.
One of the fuses had completely melted into the actual fuse box, and it looks like it even caused damage to the one next to it. That 40 amp ain't meant to be a 40 amp, and someone's put in a bigger amp fuse, and that's melted it. If I put a 30 amp in there, we don't know what amp that fuse is going to be, but that looks, I've never seen a 40 amp mini fuse, I've never seen one. But judging by the look of that, that's melted. The only reason someone's put 40 amp in there is because it probably would have been popping 10 amps, 20 amps, 30 amps, and it just kept putting fuses in. Until one's worked, and then they've gone, oh, that's worked, but they've completely ignored it, because I was about to say the same thing. I was like, if the fuse is gone, there's a reason why it's gone. So that is not good. That could cause a fire.
So we've got to find out where that fuse goes to, because that's the source of our problem.
It's melted. The one next to it's melted the one next to it as well. Oh. Okay, so this is the one next to it. What are the chances that the one next to it is secondary air pump, and the one that's 40 amp is gearbox pump? It's melted the secondary air pump one, and the gearbox pump one is on fire for some reason.
But why would they break?
That's the question. That is the question. To get better access to the fuses, I removed the wheel arch lining and everything inside the wheel arch. That way I can access the fuse box from underneath. Then I was going to remove the top to make sure that there was no other damage inside that box. Everything seemed okay behind it. All I have to do now is pull that fuse out of the box.
That ain't even a fuse anymore. That fuse is not fusing.
The whole idea of a fuse is that it pops if something on the circuit isn't quite working right. But if someone's putting a bigger amp fuse in every time it pops, it's just going to create more and more heat. Right. We could send 12 volts to it, right? And see what it powers up or what tries to power it up.
Okay, that'd be perfect.
But then we don't have to put the ignition on because I think this will come on with the ignition. Because if we put a fuse in it and then we turn the ignition on, the fuse might just blow straight away. I think you know what? Let's do it for now. 20 amps. 20 amp. They cannot touch together. We just need to hear if we hear anything different. But no, I think the ignition's going to go on. In fact, I was going to say it now. I open the door. That fuse is blowing.
You think?
Yeah. Ready to see if it pops.
Matt's about to open the door.
Ready?
Yeah. The pump. It's working.
It's working. The gearbox pump started working. And it hasn't blown. And it stopped.
Oh.
I don't think it's getting pressure, is it? And that's why that's probably getting really hot, 'cause it keeps trying, it keeps trying. The gearbox pump is meant to turn on until it gets to a certain pressure, then it will turn off again. Or is it building pressure up? But this pump kept going, so I was worried that it might blow the fuse again. See how I build pressure up?
That's why it stopped. Imagine if it goes into gear now.
But like, I can't, this can't, that's got to be blowing for some reason, but it ain't blown now, is it? But let me open the door again. The pump still worked, fuse still good, and the fuse was still good. Fuse is good. And it ain't not, oh my god, it's going to get.
It stopped making the noise, it stopped.
And the pump sounded different. Remember on the SVJ when it built pressure, it went the pump sounded different. Is this going to go into gear? No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way.
If it's just a fuse, that'd be crazy.
I'm just going to drop! No way! Park! No! No way, no way, no way, no way, I'm literally shaking now. There's no way! It was just a fuse. Oh. Yeah? It's moving! It's moving! It's working! The Bugatti went into gear. It's working! The fuse is all good! No way! There's absolutely no way! But like, it doesn't make sense. Why is the fuse gone? It needs a service, it needs a good going over, and there's still a misfire. But right now I've got a Bugatti Veyron with a working gearbox, which was just a fuse. What the hell? There's so much more to unfold. I think there is going to be so much more to unfold. It's a double win as well because my t-shirt is
Was
sick.
für ein Genuss zum Fest. Die Sachertorte aus der Konditorei Koppenrad und Wiese. Jetzt probieren.
Bugatti didn't think that we were going to be able to separate this car in half.
Can't do that in a garage. There's just a few places in the world with the right equipment to be able to do that.
And put it back together.
Looking good, looking good.
But we managed to do both of them, and on top of that, we managed to get it even started. But what we're going to find out today is whether this car will run to temperature, we come so close, and whether these airbags are actually from an Audi A3.
For sure, it's not the same airbag inside.
Let's get started. So far on the Bugatti, the only thing that we've actually needed to repair is the gearbox bracket. But from now onwards, it's going to get a lot harder, especially without Bugatti's help.
But we just don't think it's safe, and that's why we can't support it.
We've got airbags to fix, chassis damage to fix, and radiators, Alcantara, and some bits of bronze in it, and this whole thing is about to full thing in place. And then he's building this chassis leg outwards, just like a box, just to confirm that everything's good. Back on goes the end piece.
5 seconds remaining.
Being part of the Volkswagen Audi group, they've already done the developing, they've already done an airbag fitted into have something in the headrest, what we're putting in the headrest, without having to buy it and just using a Honda Civic radiator core.
Your turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Prepare for battle.
You're a beautiful person with a charming personality.
Иди, Мик, иди.
Yeah, sure.
Fashion Lovers, erlebt die Fever Runway Show auf der Kopenhagen Fashion Week. Kauft Fever, um teilnehmen zu können.
Bei uns im Dachausbau ist der Sonnenschutz von Velux, die Außenrollos, eine optimale Lösung, die ich selbst eingebaut habe.
Hello person, this is Anton, and in this video, we're going to be tackling one of the most fundamental questions in particle physics. Is there anything inside a quark? And that's because for a very long time, based on our best understanding of the universe, and specifically based on something referred to as the Standard Model, researchers always believe that quarks are elementary particles, meaning that they have no inner structure and are not made of something smaller. Or basically, there is nothing beyond the quarks, at least based on the Standard Model of physics. But one of the recent experiments from the Large Hadron Collider, and specifically the CMS collaboration, something you can learn about in one of the studies in the description, for the first time in history, essentially pushed the boundary of how small of a thing we can actually see in order to find out if that hypothesis and this proposition is actually true. And so let's discuss a little bit more about this. But first, in order to understand why this is important, let's first discuss just a little bit of history and how we discovered all of this. Or basically, why do we even have this Standard Model of elementary particles? And technically here, the history goes back thousands of years. Because back in the days, before we could even perform these experiments, even ancient Greeks believed that ordinary matter seems to be composed of something that's very difficult to see, but that seems to be indivisible and does not contain anything inside. They refer to this as the uncuttable or indivisible matter, which in Greek is atomos, and that's where the word atom came from. But their factual existence remained more or less controversial up until 1905. This is actually when Albert Einstein published his paper on Brownian motion and was able to prove that molecules were not just mathematical illusions, but actually existed. And soon afterwards, Ernest Rutherford discovered that they were not indivisible at all. As a matter of fact, even atoms in this case seem to contain a dense nucleus inside of them, right in the center. And so following these early experiments, pretty much every single year, something new was discovered about some of these particles. And some of the first discoveries from the nucleus were made just a decade afterwards. And so basically by 1919, researchers confirmed the existence of protons, and by 1932, they discovered neutrons. But some of the biggest breakthrough was actually made in 1968. This is when physicists realized that even these protons and neutrons were actually made out of something else even smaller. This was the discovery of quarks. And so every time scientists looked deeper and deeper and tried to create something with more and more energy, they seemed to discover new layers. But by 1970, the Standard Model essentially codified the existence of most of these fundamental particles. And so for the past few decades, all these subatomic particles can essentially be summarized in this image. We basically have 17 distinct elementary particles, with the last one, the Higgs boson, only confirmed to exist back in 2012. But pretty much all of them do something different and are even fundamentally different in how they react with everything else. For example, 12 of them are known as fermions. These are electrons and quarks, which form the matter as we know it. But 5 of them are bosons, which are a little bit more difficult to imagine because their job is to essentially carry forces. So things like the strong force, which basically holds the atom together, seems to be produced by these mysterious bosons. But quarks, which are of course the smallest particles inside the atom, are also unique because they seem to come in 6 unusual types. For reasons that I still don't really get, these are not actually known as types, they are known as flavors. And the flavors are up, down, charm, strange, top, bottom. And intriguingly, what makes these particle particles particularly special is the fact that these are the only particles that seem to feel all 4 fundamental forces. They feel the gravity, they feel the electromagnetic force, and they feel the weak and the strong force. In comparison, something like a neutrino can only feel 2 forces, gravity and the weak force. Alright, yeah, I know it's again a little bit more complicated and a little bit more technical, but the main point here is that, well, that's kind of what these fundamental particles look like as of 2026, and today we believe these are the basic building blocks of everything in the universe, with the assumption being that they are possibly like point-like entities, with maybe no size at all. And as a matter of fact, we have no idea what these even look like if you look at them super close. But naturally in science, it's always important to kind of stay skeptical and to possibly test some of these propositions and some of these ideas. And so if history were to repeat itself, maybe even quarks could be composed of particles that are even smaller. And this has been previously proposed with the name prion, proposed as a potential explanation for these even smaller point-like sources that could actually be the true fundamental building blocks of all matter. This was proposed back in 1974 by George Ashpati and Abdus Salam, and they were mostly intended to explain the large number of existing particles and their properties. But for over 50 years, they remained unproven. Although if they do exist, they would simplify this particle zoo and would explain everything in a much more elegant way. And that's essentially what this new experiment was trying to test and to find out. Do prions exist, and can we possibly find them? And so to test this CMS detector at the Large Hadron Collider was used to collect protons at incredibly high energies. This is in essence what this whole study is about. And that's because by colliding protons at these energies, there was maybe a slight chance that some of them would not just produce quarks, but would also break apart quarks as well that could then produce prions. And in this experiment, scientists specifically focused on something called D-jet angular distribution. Yep, more technical stuff. I mean, technically you can skip this part by using the thing below. But in essence, this is a kind of a tool in high energy physics that tries to find new phenomena by measuring the scattering angle resulting from the collision of 2 extremely energetic particles. And so if there's some kind of a new interaction or some kind of a new unusual particle, it will often produce collisions with angles that don't match expectations and previous theories. In other words, this is a great technique because it seems to be very sensitive to new physics. And so when quarks scatter, they're supposed to create jets, which are kind of like sprays of particles that fly out in different directions. And so by measuring the angles at which these jets fly out, researchers can then tell if quarks are behaving like smooth point-like dots, or if they possibly have something inside of them as well and are made out of individual particles, which would produce different angles. And that's because they would break apart and scatter in a different way. And so here the results from the study used a lot of data collected between 2016 and 2018, focusing on probing quarks down to a scale of about 10 to minus 20 meters. And just to give you a better understanding, that's approximately 10,000 times more than a typical proton. Okay, so what did they find? Well, at this scale, right now there's absolutely no evidence that something seems to be inside or that there is any kind of an inner structure. Or essentially the data shows that quarks still seem to be point-like and seem to scatter as if they had nothing inside, with all of these scattering angles matching the predicted value from the standard model perfectly. With this experiment right now setting the most stringent limit on this so-called quark compositeness. With the overall conclusion from the study being that if quarks do have something inside and if these preons are real, it can only be revealed if we actually use even higher energy of at least 37 para-electron volts, or basically it would require even more powerful collisions. But this experiment didn't just look for quarks and preons, it also tried to find something else beyond the standard model, or something that possibly did not match predicted values. For example, some kind of an extra spatial dimension, some kind of a quantum black hole, or maybe some kind of a sign of dark matter. And while they did find some kind of a very small difference in the data for some of the high mass regions, they also determined that none of them were significant enough to claim a new discovery. And so overall, as of mid-2026, the standard model of physics seems to be more or less correct. And though it is maybe incomplete, right now this is the best model we have to explain what everything is made of, and to of course explain the entire universe. Although just as a small side note, when it comes to these predicted preons, while still highly speculative, a lot of previous models proposed that in terms of size, the technically could be much smaller than what scientists were testing for. Compared to what was tested in this study, they might actually be at least 10,000 times smaller, implying that maybe these collisions were just not powerful enough to break these quarks apart and to create these even smaller particles. And so if the existence of preons is confirmed, it would definitely revolutionize particle physics. But nevertheless, this experiment definitely did not discover anything. Nevertheless, these experiments are still quite important, and in this case, for reasons we discussed in a lot of previous videos. For example, the standard model still cannot actually explain gravity. And I mean, gravity is one of the biggest forces in the universe, yet somehow it's completely missing from this picture. None of these particles, and of course none of these bosons, can physically explain how or why gravity works. And though Higgs boson that was confirmed in 2012 explains how some of the mass is produced, which can then lead to the explanation of gravity, it actually only explains like 1%. 99% of mass is unexplainable right now, which is something we discussed in our previous videos in the discussion, and something we'll be talking about very soon because there has been some additional research. So, subscribe and stuff, because that video is coming out really soon. But apart from gravity, it also does not explain dark matter, it does not explain dark energy, and cannot even explain why there is more matter than antimatter in the universe. In other words, some of the biggest questions and some of the most profound questions cannot be explained using this somewhat simple particle model. And so by cracking a quark and by finding a structure inside of it, and possibly discovering some kind of a new subatomic particle, could potentially lead physics to a new complete theory of almost everything. Which means that the search is not over yet. While this particular experiment didn't discover anything, just as I mentioned before, this was from the data from 2016 to 2018. Which means that there's a lot of data that has not been analyzed yet, and the current third run has not been analyzed and has not been studied. As a matter of fact, some of the future data, and especially from the high luminosity Large Hadron Collider, may allow us to probe even smaller scales and higher energies. Which means that maybe, just maybe, in the next few years, we might indeed discover that quarks are not the end of the line. We might find that next layer of DOTA, which of course will be groundbreaking for modern physics. Or alternatively, maybe all these additional experiments will just confirm that quarks are indeed the smallest possible subatomic particles. Which means that all of those other mysteries like antimatter and dark matter have to be studied in some other way that we obviously do not know yet. But based on this study, right now we can confirm that quarks seem to be the smallest constituents, there seem to be no hidden or extra dimensions in the universe, there seem to be no dark matter particles discovered in any of the collisions, and there were no axion-like particles or quantum black holes. And so here, by analyzing these very specific angles following collisions, researchers definitively showed us that we can test a lot of physical concepts by just looking at some of this older data. Which means that we'll come back and discuss additional data and additional discoveries in some of the videos. On that note, thank you for watching, subscribe, come back for more to learn something else, support the channel, Patreon, where you can additional videos, videos without any ads, and can DM me directly, or by joining the channel, membership grants you early access. You can also support the channel by buying the wonderful person t-shirt in the description below. See you tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow, as always, bye-bye.
Yeah, sure. Snowstorms are coming. Yeah, sure. I'm under attack, hell of a bunch. If you say so. Attack! Knuckles cracked and ready.
Für den Fall, dass dieser Spot dein Herz höher schlagen lässt, sieh es als Zeichen. Mit Condor ab Wien via Frankfurt zu den schönsten Zielen weltweit. Zum Beispiel nach Nordamerika. Schon ab 259,99 €. Jetzt buchen auf condor.com.
Was ausprobieren. Musik ist wie ein Herzschlag.
Thank you to know the team behind the Hover Pen for supporting this. 2025 was the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology in celebration of the invention of our strangest trade theory 50 years ago. In 1925, quantum mechanics went from being a peculiar set of ideas to describe some funny results from experiments to a full-blown theoretical framework that overturned how we think reality really works. So today, as the centenary year approaches its end, I want to take you on a journey through what may have been the most paradigm-destroying several months in scientific history. We've got a couple of quick announcements before we start. First, our eternal battle against the algorithm continues. The best way to encourage YouTube to share our videos is to like and comment. Doing both really makes a difference. And if you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell, and introduce yourself with the comments. We're friendly. Now for the fun part. It's holiday discount week at the Spacetime merch store. From now through next Friday, you can get 20-50% off most merch items from all of 2025, including limited restocks and 4 new releases. First up, with the LHC Higgs Discovery desktop and gaming map, this 32-inch by 16-inch map with anti-slip design is inspired by the discovery of the Higgs of the Large Hadron Collider. Plus we have our final shirt and hoodie of the year, Don't Panic, it's only rocket science. It's one of our rare full-color designs inspired by a little restaurant at the end of the universe. There's a link in the description. Now onto the episode. Let's start by understanding where we stood at the beginning of 1925. What was the scientific worldview that was about to be shattered? So Albert Einstein has been the king of physics for a decade, ever since he published his general theory of relativity in 1915 and toppled the 4th-century reign of Newtonian mechanics. GR completely supplanted our understanding of space, time, motion, and gravity. This was a revolution, no doubt. But in a way, Einstein actually reinforced the status quo rather than overturning it. See, in the Newtonian worldview, the motion of all particles could be perfectly computed through a simple set of universal laws. And all things are made of particles, so surely then the universe itself and all it contains is computable. It's deterministic. Know the present, and you can calculate all past and mistakes. This achievement gave us a sense that the universe is knowable to a degree of completeness never before. Self-consistent. And so Einstein was able to leverage these seemingly minor glitches into a full-blown scientific revolution, in which space and time emerged, and the resulting space-time was no longer Newton's universal background, but rather a malleable, dynamic pin. The out of Einstein's relativity still shared a fundamental quality. It was just as deterministic. The equation of general relativity, the distribution of matter and energy in space-time perfectly defines the geometry of that space-time, which in turn completely determines the motion of said matter forever into the past and future. Einstein also showed that simultaneity of relativity, destroying our delusion of absolute sense of so the already deterministic past and future became as real as the present, at least in some interpretations, and all the time was sort of crystallized into an eternal block for the entirety of existence. On the one hand, the universe under Einstein remained measurable and knowable, but what is known and what can be known came to depend on perspective, where you are, how fast you're moving, the light speed, limited horizon of the world, embedded vision, but still firmly on the side of eternity. In the early 1920s, Einstein was a science rock star. He was still a few loose threads in the fabric of our understanding of the world, so you can imagine the hunger of a young physicist of that era to pull on these threads and to perhaps pull off another revolution. Mystery, perhaps the big one, was the strange world, and especially the behavior of the humble from rudimentary nucleus. We've all seen the picture of electron whizzing around the nuclei like tiny solar systems, a holdover from early assumptions that the tiny universe resembled the gigantic. There are so many questions. Why were certain electrons orbit around? And why those ones? And why didn't electrons spiral into their nuclei? The uncanny orbit of the electron is surely the key to a new revolution, just as the orbit of Mercury unlocked relativity. The first steps were tentative. Niels Bohr, building on Planck and Einstein's quantization of light, gave us an empirical model of the quantized electron energy levels. Louis de Broglie, building on that same quantization, guessed that all of matter had to have a wave nature. Bohr then realized that these electron waves made sense in his atomic model. The allowed orbits are those that perfectly fit an integer number of electron wave cycles. These are self-reinforcing standing waves. While this gave a nice story for the quantization of electron orbits, other problems remain. Perhaps the worst being that it's only worked for under an atom. That's really stood young as you know. Very classical feeling, and so Newtonian and Einsteinian worldviews still remained. We clung to the ambition to be aloof masters of a computable universe. The spark that set this entire worldview ablaze had already started in Munich a few years earlier, when a 20-year-old student showed up in the office of Sonnenfeld, famous both as a physicist and a theoretical, and that student, Charles, to solve one of the main failings of the Bohr model, in particular, distortions in hydrogen level C when it's not in the field. But without being confused, we'll try to know what you're going to take for our truth. All common sense dictates that the map should be based on integer numbers, the whole numbers of wave cycles in Bohr's electron orbits. But Sonnenfeld's naive student, for whatever reason, tried a mathematical form involving physically irrelevant half-equals, half blah 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 blah. But that worked for Heisenberg, and at 20 he discovered the first clue to the strange asymmetry of the electron, a result of its yet undiscovered hydrogen. This little project began Heisenberg's obsession with the two stack. 3 years later, now 1925, Heisenberg was in Boston studying under Max Born, also in close connection with the now famous Niels Bohr, his future closest collaborator. Surrounded by such a giant of physics, Heisenberg still turned to Einstein. Heisenberg asked himself, what would Einstein do? In coming up with general relativity, Einstein had resolved to reject unfounded assumptions, no matter how self-evident they seem. That meant putting aside Newtonian ideas like the universality of time and an unchanging and flat geometry of space. So Heisenberg challenged himself to take that credo seriously.
Dead. Punching bag.
And the factories were removed into Siberia, far away from the Germans. The Germans and the Japanese could be firebombed, okay? So look at this. So from 1940 to 1945, the British and Americans firebombed Germany, okay? This is Dresden. Dresden. You can see the entire city of Dresden was destroyed by the firebombing. So in World War II, what they recognize is there's no point in putting soldiers on the battlefield because they'll just send in more soldiers with more weapons. So we need to destroy the civilian population. That's how you win the war. Okay, and that's how they defeated Germany. Japan was much worse. Look at this. At least half of Japan was destroyed by the American firebombing of Japan. That's why Japan lost the war. Otherwise, they would have kept on going. All right, and these are huge cities. So Nagoya is a city the size of Los Angeles. 40% of it was destroyed. Okay? Tokyo is New York City. 40% of it was destroyed as well. Yokohama, 60% of it was destroyed. Okay, this is Tokyo. You can see the extent of the damage. The nation state idea was so powerful that in order to win a war, you need to destroy the civilian population. Okay?
Radiant structures are fortified.
So, as you can see, because of the rise of the nation state, we have to kill more and more people in order to fight wars. So this is World War II, and at least 20 to 30 million people were killed. Okay? And depending on how you calculate, probably a lot more than that died. But what's interesting is that even though World War II was a calamity, even though tens of millions have died, there was a population growth. It never stopped. Okay? So for most of the history of human history, population growth was steady. But then, starting around the year 1600, it boomed, okay? And again, scientists will tell you this coincided with the rise of science and technology. But we've always had science and technology. What made this different was the rise of a nation state. And the recognition that to fight wars, you need more people who want to kill themselves for the nation. And to get them to do that, you have to treat them well as well, okay? And that's why, and so the nation state wanted science and technology to grow the population. That's why we had medicine and sanitation. Okay? These innovations happen because the nation state willed these things to happen.
Your middle tower
All right.
is under attack.
Now, as I mentioned, after World War II, and after all the travesty and destruction of World War II, the world got together and said, okay, America, you're in charge now, and let's build a world in which we don't have to fight and kill each other anymore. And so America created this game, right, called capitalism, consumer capitalism, in which we live in today. And this system is unique in human history, and for most of this history, was extremely successful. It grew the population from about 2 billion to about 8 billion today. It made a lot of people more wealthy. Think of the tremendous wealth that China has generated in the past 30, 40 years because of its participation in consumer capitalism. But unfortunately, we've now reached a point where the system is off balance. It's unstable, it's unsustainable. So now we're going back to war. But unfortunately, because there's too many people, this means that when we go back to war, at least 50% of humanity will die off in World War III. Okay? So, this is the war in Ukraine. And already millions of people are dying in this war. But if you look at the war in Ukraine, it's essentially a 19th century war, okay? It's almost like World War I. I know World War I happened in the 20th century,
but it's really a 19th century war where you are trying to kill as many soldiers as possible. Okay, and that's what's happening in Ukraine. What I will show you is that Iran will be the first 21st century war. So, America in round one tried to use shock and awe. Shock and awe is basically you decapitate the leadership, okay? You destroy the military, okay? And you destroy production. Right? That's the idea of shock and awe. I come in, I kill your leadership, I kill your military, I kill your war factories. And you do it as soon as possible. But this is not working against Iran because they prepared this war for 20 years, so it's decentralized, okay? So you kill the leaders, but they don't care because they just have new leaders come into place. Their military is hidden, okay? They're hidden in mountains, and the factories also hidden in mountains as well. So even though the Americans have really destroyed much of Iran's war fighting capacity, Iran is still in a fight. So what's going to happen is that over the next few months, America is going to shift its strategy into a 21st century war strategy. Okay? Which will have three components. Okay? The first component is economic strangulation. I will destroy your economy, your entire economy. Second is ethnic tension. I will try to create as much conflict as possible between the different peoples in Iran. Okay? And the third thing is destroy civilian infrastructure. Basically, I want to destroy people's capacity to access water, electricity, and food. The basic necessities of life. Why do I want to do that? Because if people cannot access these things, they get angry, right? Then if they get angry, I can channel this anger against the government. Because it's easier for them to attack the government than it is to attack the US military, which is the ones destroying all this infrastructure. So this is what a 21st century war strategy looks like. And this is what the Americans will deploy in Iran over the next few months. Now, why haven't they done this before? Well, because these are war crimes, okay? There are lots of treaties, the Geneva Convention, that prohibit you from fighting these wars. But as the Americans become much more desperate, as they continue to lose this war, they'll be like, screw this, I'm gonna win this war no matter what it takes, okay? So let me show you how this war will be fought. So before, right now, they're trying to target weapons. They're trying to target military bases. That doesn't get you anywhere, okay? You need to better use your weapon systems because you just don't have enough munitions to destroy the entire Iranian military, okay? So you have to be strategic now. And so you target things that have huge impact on the civilian population as well as the economy, right? So the most basic thing is water. Okay? Look guys, these are all dams and reservoirs around Iran. Okay? I don't have to destroy all of them, but I strategically destroy some of them. This is going to create a lot of pressure on the civilian population. They'll be very angry, they might protest against the government. Okay? Also, transportation networks, right? These are roads and railways. This is important because Tehran is a city of 10 million people. And they do not grow their own food. They require food to come from the countryside, from elsewhere. So if I attack the roads leading to Tehran, if I attack strategic hubs, then it's very hard for food to move from place to place. Okay? I don't have to destroy the entire food supply. I can't do that. I don't have enough weapons. But I'm being strategic about it. I'm putting strain on Iran's capacity to feed its own population. Power plants, okay? These are all power plants around Iran. And it's really easy to destroy these power plants. Right? So does that make sense? So the idea is, war, the rules of engagement require me to only attack soldiers and only attack weapons. But eventually I'm going to run out of munitions if I keep on doing that. And it's not going to destroy Iran's capacity to fight. They won't surrender. So now I need to be more strategic with how I use my munitions, how I use my bombs. And so I want to create as much damage as possible. And the best way to do that is by targeting key infrastructure, power plants, desalination plants, roads, railway networks. Okay? I can't destroy all of them, but I can create as much havoc as possible over time so the civilian population gets very angry. So my best weapon in this war are no longer my planes and my aircraft carriers. My best weapon is the Iranian people themselves. And this is what the 21st century war looks like. It's very slow, it's very methodical, it's pretty evil. Okay. Alright. Alright, the other thing is economic strangulation. Alright, so what am I trying to do here? Okay, so in Iran, there are two ways for them to generate income for finance this war. The first is to sell oil, okay? And this is Karg Island, which is their main depot, okay? Oil depot. And 90% of Iranian oil goes from Karg Island elsewhere, okay? Primarily to China. 90% of Iran's oil exports goes to China, okay? So what the Americans have done is they've imposed a blockade stopping oil exports, okay? That's one way you can stop Iran's economy. The other thing is that right now Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, and they can hold on that, okay? So I guess we need to destroy Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. The way I do that is I use ground forces, okay? So what I can do is seize Qasem Island, seize Karg Island, seize the coastline, and force the Iranians to respond to my attacks, right? I can also position forces here and here. Why? Because these areas, okay, in the northwest of Iran are home to minorities, as well as the southeast. And when I put my soldiers here, this is going to encourage local populations to rise up against the Iranian state. And now what's going to happen is that Iran will now send forces to respond to all these ethnic insurgencies around Iran, okay? So before, Iran would just focus its resources on controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Like, screw that, I'm going to expand the battlefield so that Iran is forced to deal with multiple threats. At the same time, I'm going to collapse their economy. Right? Okay, so this is what the 21st century war looks like. It's slow, you focus on triangulation as opposed to a knockout punch. All right. So, one way to understand what's happening is that the Americans have been doing this for a long time, but more subtly. Right? So, in 2012, the Iranian president named Ahmad he accused the Americans of conducting weather warfare against Iran, mainly by creating droughts in Iran. And how do you do that? Well, it's cloud seeding, right? It's cloud seeding. So the idea of cloud seeding is that you shoot up a chemical called silver iodide into clouds, forcing it to rain. Okay? When you do that, well, the clouds dissipate the rain elsewhere, and they don't go to Iran. Okay? So in 2019, there's a real fear that Iran will suffer from long-term drought. And regions like Dubai, which the Iranians claim to be the source of this weather warfare, they experience droughts. Floods. Okay? All right? So, again, I don't know how science works, and this is all rumors. But it does make sense where the Americans would use weather warfare against Iran, forcing rain to come down in Dubai to deny rain to the Iranians. Okay? There's a conspiracy theory that these world governments are conducting weather warfare using something called HAARP. Okay? Now, HAARP was originally designed in order to study the ionosphere, but some conspiracy theorists claim that HAARP can be used to create extreme weather, including hurricanes, cyclones, flooding, drought. I don't know, okay? I'm just pointing this out there. What we do know is in 1962, Lyndon Johnson, who became president of the United States, he had a very famous quote at a speech. And he basically said, "He who controls the weather will control the world." Okay? The future of warfare is not about weapons, it's about weather. So it's not about how many weapons you make, it's about how well you can control the weather. Because you think about it, if you can create a drought in a country, that country will be destroyed. And they put our resources into conducting weather warfare. And we know that from 1967 to 1972, the Americans, President Operation Popeye, during the Vietnam War. And what the Americans did was they see the clouds so that the monsoon season would be a lot longer in Vietnam. Why do that? Because then it's harder for the Vietnamese to resupply themselves. Okay? It makes it harder for them to fight because the Vietnamese are living in tunnels, right? Whereas the Americans are attacking from the air. All right? So this is pretty well known. Operation Popeye is something that the Americans did do in Vietnam, and they do have weather manipulation technology. The question is, the debate is, how effective this technology is, and how powerful is it, and how scalable is it, okay? Okay, that's the debate. We're already seeing elements of 21st century warfare being implemented around the world, okay? So look at Cuba. There's now a oil embargo on Cuba, and so there are blackouts. All right? So again, the intention is not to kill civilians, the intention is not to fight a war, the intention is to economically strangle a nation so that eventually the population wants to overthrow the government. And already what we're seeing is, these past few months, lots of accidents around the world that's destroying the world's oil supply. Okay? But there's one region of the world that doesn't really care about the loss of refineries, the loss of oil supply, and that's North America. Because North America is extremely wealthy. And so, if the rest of the world is facing energy scarcity and food scarcity, it's going to have to beg North America, the United States, Canada, Mexico for resources. And this allows the Americans to better control the world. Okay? Again, this is what 21st century warfare looks like. All right. Another thing that I will point out is that the Americans are very good at overthrowing governments. Okay? There's something called the Color Revolution Playbook. Color Revolution Playbook. And so what the Americans do is they basically invite young people from different nations to come to America to learn about democracy, to learn about how to organize protest movement, how to overthrow the government in order to promote democracy. The Americans will also finance NGOs in different countries in order to create young movements in the world. The Americans will also control social media in order to galvanize the population and foment unrest. Okay, we saw this play out most recently in last year in Nepal, when young people overthrew the government. Now, guys, okay, here's the thing. In Nepal, most people don't speak English. They don't read English. So why are these young people holding up signs? Okay, boomer, time's up. Okay? That's in English. Who's it for? Also, okay, boomer, it's an American phrase. Okay? It's an American phrase, not a Japanese phrase. So, in other words, they're doing this not to have impact locally in Nepal. They're doing this because someone's paying them to do this. You understand? It's being funded by Washington. And Washington's like, okay, well, I'll pay you this amount of money if you give me a slogan. You hold a slogan so I can show my boss that this protest is working. Also, guys, here's another side. We pay you flex enough, okay? Another English side. So again, why are they doing this? When the local population don't even speak English. They're doing it for Washington, nothing for their own country. They're doing it for their masters in Washington. All right, does that make sense? All right, and this is very common in the world today, where these protests are being orchestrated by Washington for Washington, as opposed to being organic. This goes in 2010, 2012, you have the Arab Spring protests happen all around the Middle East. Okay? They destabilize the government in the Middle East, and we know that social media, basically Twitter and Facebook, were instrumental in organizing people and promoting unrest in new places. Alright? So these are all called color revolutions, or the color revolution playbook. So not only does America have the capacity to strangle a nation's economy and force the population to beg for mercy, Washington and the Americans also have strategies on how to overthrow the government using local population. Okay? Basically by controlling social media, by organizing young people, paying them to protest, and bribing security services to not intervene. Okay? It's a very successful playbook. It tried many times and it's worked many times before. All right. So America can use this playbook against every country that opposes it, okay? So the main reason, again, is because America controls the world's choke points, including Strait of Malacca, Panama Canal, Gibraltar. These are the major choke points. Even though the Iranians control the Strait of Hormuz, the Americans can have aircraft carriers in the Indian Ocean and blockade the Iranians. Okay? This is important because a lot of people believe that what America really wants to do is just destroy China. And unfortunately right now, a lot of the Chinese economy depends on exports, meaning trade. If you can't export, your economy can suffer a great deal. When your economy suffers a great deal, you lose GDP, you have unemployment, and it's possible that you have protests happening in China because of the collapse of the economy. Okay? So that is what a 21st century war looks like. Okay? You don't send troops, you don't destroy. What you do is you strangle people to death and force the people to rise up against the nation state. Okay? And so the concluding message is this. Ultimately, to fight a 21st century warfare, okay? It's really about population management. What I mean by that is, your enemy is trying to provoke your population into unrest to destroy you. So you have to respond by managing your population better, okay? And that can also mean culling your population. Culling your population just means killing them. Okay? Killing them can mean you deny them food. You create famine. Okay? It can mean you spread diseases. It could mean you actually do go and shoot them. Okay? And this forces you to use artificial intelligence, AI surveillance state. Because the best way to control your population, the magic population, is with an AI surveillance state. All right, so that's the future we're looking at, what a 21st century war looks like. And there's no way around it. It is just the inability of history. We have too many people, we want to fight wars, and so a lot of people have to die in these wars. Does that make sense?
Got it.
All right. Any questions, guys?
You betcha.
Any questions? Yeah, Alan. Sorry, could you give the microphone to Alan?
I just have one small question about the 20th century war. Like, if a country has been attacked by this strategy, how can it respond? Like, how can Iran respond to American strategy right now?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay. Look, the reality is that when the Americans do this, okay, when they do three things, right? They destroy your economy. When they when they destroy your infrastructure. And when they divide and conquer. According to game theory, there's only one response. Okay? There's only one proper response to this, and this idea of eschatology.
Snowstorms are coming.
Okay, and the idea here is this. You need to create fanaticism among your people. Right? Because your people are suffering. They don't have enough to eat. They don't have any hope in the future. So what you say to them is, this is all part of God's plan. We're meant to suffer, because when we suffer, God will make us invincible. For our suffering, we'll find the courage to commit martyrdom. Okay? When we do martyrdom, we go to heaven.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right. The problem with this is that most people don't want to do this, okay? They're like, no, I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to die for God. I just want to live a normal life, okay? But unfortunately, what history tells us is that you really don't need that many people to commit to eschatology to win a war. Maybe at most 10 to 20%. If 10 to 20% of your population commit to this eschatology, then you will survive. Okay? And we have an example of this. An example of this is the Iran-Iraq War, which is what happened in the 1980s. Okay, an 8-year war between Iran and Iraq. Right? And guys, it was a crazy war. These Iraqis were supported by both the Americans and the Soviet Union. They had tanks, they had helicopters, they had a professional army. The Iranians in the 1980s didn't have an army. They didn't have tanks, they didn't have helicopters. So what they said to Iranian people is, the greatest glory is to be a martyr. The greatest glory is to die for your nation and for God. So these young people went into the battle with just a rifle, okay? Guys, like imagine this, okay? You have this young guy, 16 years old, he's running into battle against a tank and a helicopter, and he's screaming at them, I will kill you! And most of them got blown up, but some of them got through, and they threw a grenade into the tank, okay? And you think about this, you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. But first of all, it galvanized the Iranian population into resisting. And eventually, they turned the tide of the war so that they were actually winning the war. And it was only because the Americans started to use chemical weapons against them that the Iranians were forced back, okay? But if left alone, the Iranians would have defeated the Iraqis. So think about that, how it galvanized the population into resistance. The other thing is that it scared the living hell out of the Iraqis, okay? You have a tank, right? The guy's come at you with a rifle and a grenade. He's not afraid of you. His fearlessness makes you afraid. Okay? So even though, yes, in 21st century warfare, okay, it seems invincible, but eschatology is the counter to this approach. And that's why we should see over the next few years a huge surge in eschatology and extremism throughout the world. Because it's really the only counter to this type of warfare. Does that make sense? Okay, great question. Any more questions, guys? Okay, great. So there's no class on Thursday and next Tuesday, but we'll come back next Thursday and we'll continue this, okay? All right, thank you. Today, I want to examine why you Chinese students behave the way you do. Okay? So believe it or not, but the way that you behave, the game that you're playing, it's strange, it's weird. So I'll point out 3 things that you do that don't really make any sense. The first thing that you do is you spend a lot of your time learning English. In fact, you probably spend more time learning English than you do learning Chinese. That's weird. And I've asked Chinese students before why they are so focused on learning English. And their answers usually are, I want to learn knowledge, I want to go abroad, I want to communicate, I want to use the internet. That's not really a good explanation, okay? So that's one thing that's weird. Second thing that's weird is you're obsessed with making money, especially US dollars. Okay, and the third thing that's weird is that your goal in life is to immigrate to a Western country, specifically the United States, right? You all want to go to the United States for college, get a degree, and hopefully stay there, get a good job. But as we discussed before, that's strange because you are much higher status in China. You're much more likely to get a good job. You're much more likely to marry a beautiful woman than you are in the United States, where the game is rigged against you. Okay? So this sort of behavior is weird. If you think about it, what you should be really trying to do is master Chinese. Because once you master Chinese, and given your family background, given the fact that your family is often wealthy and well connected in China, you can climb up pretty high in China, okay? So if you learn Chinese, you're far better able to communicate yourself. You're far more likely to gain respect and status in China, okay? When instead you learn English. US dollars doesn't make any sense. What you really want is status. Right? What you really want is to be well respected. You want a prestigious job. You want to marry a beautiful woman. You want to have lots and lots of children. That's what you really want. But instead, you're really focused on obtaining US dollars. That's kind of strange. And then the last thing we said was immigration. If you go to the United States, it's really a rigged game against you, right? The most that you can hope to obtain is maybe become an engineer or professor if you're really, really smart, but you're not going to achieve political power. You're not going to become a CEO of a major company.
Хотите надежный
betcha. Yeah. I say. Good to be good. Yep.
Your bottom tower
The
has
North
fallen.
comes with me.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Вам похуй?
Bottom barracks has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack.
Ты дура ебаная. Просто вот смотрите, как сторону ломает, блядь, долбоёба, блядь. Что, блядь, на лансер, что ты...
Your middle barracks has fallen.
I say. Storms are coming. Let's find out.
I've endured worse than death.
Yes. Got it. You betcha. Die at the punch. Why not? Yeah. Sounds like a good idea. Regeneration. Yeah. Got it. You both with such determination. I'm under attack. The fight is you are going nowhere. Yes.
Your middle barracks are under attack. Your middle barracks has fallen.
Gosh.
Your bottom barracks has fallen.
Time to roll. Could be good. Attack! Okie dokie. Yeah, sure.
Размени.
Yeah. Breathe the light. Fine. Come and fight me. Great punch. I say. Why not? Yeah. Snowstorms are coming. You betcha. I'm a brawler in his prime. If you say so. Mhm. Got it. Onward. Yes.
Your
Let
middle
us
tower
keep
is under
this
attack.
clean.
Ладно, бросил бэк.
Radiant structures are fortified.
You betcha.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Sounds like
Your middle tower is under attack.
storms are coming.
Your top tower has fallen.
Yes.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Got it. Yeah, sure. Onward. Yep. The North comes. Why not?
Dire structures are fortified.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okie dokie. Yeah.
Блять, нажал минирую своей жизни, чтобы вы пошли кушать, блядь.
I say, inclement punch. Sounds like a good idea. Snowstorms are coming. If you say so. comes with me. You betcha. Got it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. Good to be good. Diamond. Knuckles cracked and ready. Yes. Yes. You betcha.
You're a beautiful person with a charming personality.
I say. Come and fight.
Брест ветошный. Прошло пока.
No big punch. You betcha. Cheeky love.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Выйдите, выйдите. Дайте бай, блядь, на туз, блядь.
Your top barracks are under attack. Your top barracks are under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Да давай, давай, пуш поел, блядь. Пуш, что ты делаешь? Какие стороны? Пуш трон, у них нету баев, блядь, я тебя засеблю, долбоёб. Точку долбоёб напоели. Просто долбоёб. Проебал игру. Бать тут, нахуй. Приезжаешь, блядь, с таким долбоебом на коре, блядь. Я не понимаю. Надо было просто пушить, я бы тебе сказал, что...
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
You betcha. Oh. Let's see what you are going nowhere.
Your top barracks are under attack. Your middle tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Your top barracks are under attack. Your top barracks has fallen.
Sounds like
Your middle tower has fallen. Dire victory.
Ну с таким конченным хором не выиграть эту игру.